Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Astronomer. This is a quiet corner of the universe where science drifts into dreams, where vast cosmic mysteries are told as gentle bedtime stories. Here, the ticking of clocks, the glow of stars, and the whispers of physics become a lullaby for your mind. So settle in, breathe slowly, and let curiosity guide you into a calm journey through space, time, and thought. You begin by noticing the steady rhythm of your own breath. Inhale, exhale. Each cycle feels like a quiet stroke in a river that carries you onward. You cannot see this river, yet you sense it in the way moments slip by, never pausing, never repeating. Time is not something you hold in your hands. It is something that holds you, gently and without force, guiding you through the hours of day and the stillness of night. Imagine yourself standing on the bank of a great, endless stream. The water glides past you, calm at times, rippling at others, yet always flowing. Each drop is a second, each swirl a memory, each widening current a year. This river of time moves in one direction, forward, carrying everything within it, your thoughts, your body, your life, toward an unseen horizon. You cannot step outside of it, but you can float, watching the way it shifts and sparkles. In your daily life, you often think of time as rigid and exact. The clock on the wall, the schedule on your phone, the calendar in your hand, they tell you when to wake, when to work, when to rest. Yet beneath those numbers, beneath the orderly ticking of machines, lies a far softer truth. Time is not a straight line carved in stone. It bends and stretches, just as rivers curve through valleys or spill into deltas. The flow feels steady, but science whispers that it is not the same for all who drift within it. Consider how rivers behave. One part may rush swiftly through a narrow passage, while another lingers in a quiet pool, yet both are still part of the same river. So it is with time. The moments of joy in your life seem to pass too quickly, rushing by like rapids, while moments of waiting can stretch and slow, as though you are caught in still water. Your experience of time is deeply personal, coloured by emotion, shaped by attention. But even beyond perception, the fabric of time itself can ripple and shift. You may wonder how such a thing could be. How can something as certain as a second change its pace? The answer lies in the universe's most hidden design. Time is not separate from space. Together they form a fabric called space-time. Picture a great woven cloth, stretching in every direction, rippling softly under the weight of stars and planets. You are stitched into this fabric. The chair beneath you, the ground beneath that, the earth spinning quietly in space, all of it rests upon space-time's subtle weave. If space-time bends, then the flow of time bends with it. Imagine placing a heavy stone in the middle of a calm pond. The surface curves, dipping around the stone. In the same way, mass, such as Earth or the Sun, causes space-time to curve, and as the fabric curves, time itself slows. Close to the stone, close to the planet, seconds linger longer than they do far away. You sitting here feel nothing unusual, yet compared to a clock floating far above Earth, your moments drift more slowly. To feel this idea more deeply, imagine two travellers standing side by side at the edge of the river. One steps into the deeper current and is carried swiftly, while the other remains in the shallow stream, moving gently. They wave to one another, still connected, still part of the same river, yet the speed of their journeys differs. When they meet again downstream, they discover that their paths, though shared, have delivered them to the present in different ways. This is how time behaves when gravity or motion bends its course. Two clocks, both faithful, can disagree, yet neither is wrong. For most of your life, these differences are too subtle to notice. A second here, a fraction there, imperceptible to human senses. But for satellites above Earth, for astronauts circling the globe, the changes are real and measurable. Their clocks, racing in the sky, drift slightly from those on the ground. Engineers must account for these shifts, or else the maps on your phone would lead you astray. Even in your ordinary day, time's river carries traces of relativity's quiet song. And so, as you sit in stillness, you can imagine yourself floating between these truths. On one hand, time feels like a companion, steady and predictable. On the other, it is fluid, bending to motion and mass. Both experiences are real, and both cradle you as you drift further into reflection. You may find comfort in knowing that time, like water, adjusts to its surroundings, shaping itself around mountains and valleys, around speed and weight, while always continuing forward. Think of your own body as part of this current. Each heartbeat is a clock, each breath a second hand, each cell dividing within you a small tick of life's metronome. And though you do not notice, even these inner clocks are touched by the river's variations. If you were to soar into orbit or rest at the bottom of a deep valley, your body's rhythm would shift ever so slightly. You would remain yourself, yet your journey would be drawn along a slightly altered flow. This thought may feel vast, but it is also tender. You are both fragile and infinite, carried by a current that shapes all things. As you drift further into this meditation, you may begin to see that time is not a strict ruler, but a patient companion. It does not demand, it carries. It does not force, it guides. And within its flow, you are free to rest, to dream, to wonder. You are a passenger in a vessel that never halts, yet offers you the beauty of each passing view. The moments you treasure become shimmering reflections upon the surface of the stream, always visible in memory, though never to be touched again. You close your eyes and picture the river one last time. It glides forward endlessly, carrying galaxies, stars, and even the tiniest grains of dust along its course. You are part of that river, inseparable from it. And though your own clock may feel steady, you now know that others may disagree, and still both are true. This is the first whisper of time's gentle mystery, and as you settle into this awareness, a quiet question lingers. If your now can flow differently than another's, what does it mean to share a moment at all? You often imagine that now is universal. You picture every clock on Earth striking the same second at once, every person everywhere existing inside the same shared moment. This belief feels natural, almost obvious. But as you sink deeper into reflection, science reveals a softer, stranger truth. Now is not the same for all. It is as flexible as a ribbon in the wind, bending with motion, stretching with perspective. Close your eyes and imagine two friends watching a sunrise. They stand together on the same hill, faces warmed by the same light. For them, now feels identical, their experiences woven into one shared instant. Yet if one friend were to step into a spaceship and sail swiftly away, the unity of their now would begin to blur. The friend on the hill would see the sunrise at one rhythm, while the traveller, moving fast through space, would measure moments differently. Their nows would drift apart, quiet and unnoticeable at first, but real nonetheless. To feel this, picture a loaf of bread. You slice it cleanly, each piece even and flat, stacked neatly. This is how you imagine time, each slice a present moment, each cut the same for all. But Einstein suggested otherwise. Time is more like a soft loaf that can be sliced at slants. Two people, moving differently, carve their slices at different angles. What feels like the same moment for one may not align with the slice of another. The loaf remains whole, but the division is personal. You may find this unsettling, but also strangely comforting. It means that reality is richer than the simple ticking of shared clocks. It means that your moment is yours alone, stitched into your frame of motion. To someone moving differently, your present could be their past or their future. And still, neither is wrong. Both are faithful to their place in space-time's vast weave. Think of space-time as a grand tapestry stretched across the cosmos. Each thread is a line of events, a heartbeat, a falling leaf, a distant star collapsing. When you say now, you pluck a strand and it vibrates with your rhythm. But another traveller moving differently plucks the same tapestry at a different angle. Their vibration carries another timing, another slice of the present. The cloth holds both truths, never torn, never conflicted. This is the principle of relativity. No single now rules all. Instead, every observer stitches their own fabric of moments, connected to motion, tied to perspective. And so the universe does not insist on one shared present. It allows countless presents to bloom side by side, overlapping yet distinct. Imagine sitting on a train while watching trees sweep by. Inside, your tea rests calmly in its cup, your book lies steady in your hands. For you, the train feels still, your now unfolding in a quiet rhythm. Yet to someone standing on the platform, your train streaks past in motion, and their now contains a different slice of events. Neither perspective is wrong, each feels complete, yet each tells a different story of the same unfolding reality. This thought slows your breathing. You realize that even in your daily life, now is not as simple as it seems. When you speak on the phone across continents, light signals rush through cables, leaping beneath oceans. Tiny delays stretch the idea of a shared present. Your words, spoken here, arrive slightly later there. Yet you still feel connected. You feel as though you share a moment. This is the human comfort of now, even as physics gently tells another story. You may wonder then what now really means. Perhaps it is less about absolute truth and more about relationship. Your present is defined by where you stand, how you move, how you gaze into the world. Someone else's present may not align exactly with yours, but it flows alongside it, part of the same great river of time. What matters is that the river carries all, weaving separate currents into one vast ocean. Consider astronauts on the International Space Station. They circle Earth at tremendous speeds, their clocks ticking differently than yours on the ground. If you were to wave at one another at the same instant, your definitions of now would not perfectly match, and yet you would both feel the warmth of connection. Science shows the difference, but life feels the harmony. This too is part of the beauty of relativity, a reminder that truth can be plural, that reality makes room for more than one perspective. The poetry of relativity rests here, in the gentle contradiction. You live inside a moment that is yours, unshakably real to you. Another lives in theirs, equally real yet not aligned. When you meet, you stitch your threads together, sharing enough of the weave to feel the bond of presence. And then, when paths diverge, the weave stretches again, each thread continuing its rhythm. In this you find a quiet metaphor for life itself. No two journeys unfold the same. Your steps, your days, your seasons, each flows uniquely even as you walk alongside others. The universe is vast enough to hold all of these variations, to cradle them without judgment. Relativity does not diminish your moment. It enriches it. It says, your now is real, even if another's is not the same. As you drift further into this thought, your sense of urgency begins to fade. If now is not absolute, then time itself feels less like a cage and more like a meadow, open, expansive, stretching in every direction. You may not share the exact same moment as another traveller, but you share the same field, the same light, the same endless expanse of possibility. Your breath deepens as you accept this. The world does not need one rigid now. Instead, it offers a symphony of presence, each played in harmony with motion. You are part of this symphony, your rhythm blending with countless others. The thought is soothing, like resting in music that never ends. And yet, a question lingers in the quiet. If now can differ from one observer to another, how did a single mind sitting with a notebook discover this truth and change the way we see time? You picture a small room with tall windows, sunlight spilling across the floor. Papers are scattered, ink stains the desk, and a young man sits deep in thought. His hair is uncombed, his suit a little worn, but his eyes glow with restless curiosity. This is Albert Einstein, not yet the icon you imagine on posters and in textbooks, but a quiet dreamer working in near solitude. His job, a clerk in a patent office, demands the review of inventions, yet his mind roams elsewhere, drifting through questions about light, motion, and time. At first glance, there is nothing extraordinary about this setting. A modest desk, a pen scratching across paper. But within this stillness, a revolution is stirring. What Einstein is doing in that quiet space is listening to the rhythm of the universe, listening to contradictions that others dismissed. He senses that the clocks and rulers of the world do not tell the full story. Beneath their strict tick and measure lies a softer truth waiting to be seen. Einstein begins by asking a childlike question. What would it feel like to ride alongside a beam of light? The thought is so simple yet so bold that it unsettles established physics. Imagine yourself running at the speed of light. Would the wave of light beside you freeze? Would time itself falter? Einstein turns this playful vision over and over, and from it grows a realization that will change the way humanity understands reality. The traditional view was comforting. Time marched forward evenly, the same for all, like a drumbeat no one could escape. Space was a stage, vast and unchanging, on which events played out. But Einstein dares to disrupt this calm picture. He proposes that time and space are not separate at all. They are threads of one fabric woven together into space-time, and this fabric bends, stretches, and ripples. Motion itself changes the way time unfolds. Consider the simplicity of what he suggests. A moving clock ticks more slowly. This idea seems absurd at first. A second is a second, you may think. How could motion alter something so fundamental? Yet the equations whisper otherwise. They reveal that speed is not just a matter of distance covered. It alters the rhythm of existence. Imagine again that river of time from the first chapter. Einstein shows that your motion within the river changes how swiftly you are carried. Drift gently, and your seconds flow at one pace. Rush ahead at great speed, and your seconds lengthen, stretching thin like strands of silk. The faster you move, the slower your clock ticks compared to others left behind. And though this difference is invisible to your senses, it is written into the mathematics with unshakable clarity. You might expect such a claim to remain a curiosity, an untested dream. But Einstein's gentle disruption does not stop at theory. He builds it upon experiments, upon the steady light of science itself. The constancy of the speed of light becomes his anchor. No matter how fast you chase it, light always outruns you at the same speed. This impossibility forces the bending of time and space. For the universe to keep its promise that light's speed never changes, time itself must shift. Clocks must disagree, rulers must contract, reality must flex. What makes this disruption gentle is its elegance. Einstein does not tear down the old view with violence. He replaces it with something more harmonious. The rigid stage of Newton becomes a living fabric, dynamic and graceful. What seems at first like chaos is in truth a deeper order, one that embraces the relativity of all observers. Each perspective is valid, each clock faithful, even if they tell different stories. You rest with this thought and notice how it mirrors life. Two people may recall the same day differently. One remembers it as swift, another as slow. Both accounts feel real, and both are true. In Einstein's world, physics agrees. Truth can be plural, stitched together by perspective. This is not a flaw but a feature of the universe, a kindness woven into its design. Einstein himself seems almost unaware of the revolution he's igniting. He is calm, modest, even shy. His papers, written in 1905, are offered not with grandeur but with clarity. Yet the effect is seismic. Physicists who once believed in absolute time must now let go. The cosmos is no longer a clockwork machine but a flowing, bending, breathing fabric. And yet this disruption is not destructive. It does not end the story of Newton. It enriches it. Newton's laws remain useful, like a map of familiar roads, but Einstein reveals the larger terrain beyond, where highways bend into space, where time itself curves around mountains of gravity. He adds depth, not disorder. As you drift deeper into the story, you realize how radical and gentle revolutions can be. Not all disruption is violent. Some unfold like dawn, spreading light slowly across the horizon. Einstein's theory is such a dawn. It begins with quiet questions and grows into a sunrise that changes everything you see. You imagine him looking out the window of the patent office, lost in thought. Trains roll by and he wonders about passengers, about signals of light flashing across stations, about clocks trying to agree in simple images. Ordinary moments become seeds of revelation. This is the gift of a curious mind, to see wonder in the everyday, to sense the infinite hidden in the familiar. And you too can feel that wonder. Even without equations, you can imagine the bending of time. Picture yourself running faster and faster, the world blurring around you. Imagine your watch slowing, your heartbeat stretching. Picture others standing still, their clocks racing ahead of yours. This is the paradox Einstein uncovered. You live within time, yet time itself is not fixed. It responds to how you move, how you exist. As you rest in this awareness, you realize that Einstein's disruption was not only about clocks and rulers, it was about perception, about truth, about the vastness of possibility. He showed that reality is not rigid but alive, and that even the most certain things, the passage of seconds, the distance between stars, can bend. You breathe softly, taking in this thought. The universe is kinder, stranger, more flexible than you imagined. And the journey has only just begun. For if motion can bend time, what of gravity, that silent pull of Earth beneath your feet? What might it do to the river of seconds that carries you along? Imagine yourself sitting by the tracks, watching a train rush past. The air trembles, the ground hums, and for a brief moment you glimpse faces in the windows, lives carried forward at great speed. The passengers sip tea, read newspapers, glance at their watches. To them, everything feels ordinary. Their clocks tick as steadily as yours. But if you could compare those clocks to the one in your hand, you would find something astonishing. The moving clocks tick more slowly. This idea seems impossible at first. Time feels absolute, solid, unbending. A second here should match a second there, no matter the motion. Yet Einstein's revelation whispers otherwise. Speed alters time's flow. The faster an object moves, the slower its clock runs compared to one at rest. The passengers on the train would not notice. Their hearts and breaths keep perfect pace with their own watches. But from your perspective, watching from the still ground, their time lags gently behind. You can think of it like a dance. Two partners move across the floor to the same music, but one takes longer steps, stretched and slow, while the other takes shorter, quicker ones. Both follow the rhythm, yet the steps do not align perfectly. In the same way, two clocks, one moving swiftly and one standing still, drift apart in their counting of seconds. Neither is broken, neither lies, but together they compose a melody of difference. To feel this more clearly, imagine light as the ultimate referee. A beam of light travels at a fixed speed, unchanging for all observers. This constancy forces time to adjust. Picture a light bouncing between two mirrors inside a moving train. For the passenger, the light goes up and down in a neat vertical path. But from your view outside, the train is moving forward, and so the light traces a diagonal, zigzagging path between the mirrors. The distance it travels is longer, and yet the speed of light must remain constant. The only solution is for time itself to stretch. The moving passenger's seconds expand to accommodate the longer journey of light. Their clock runs slow. This is no illusion. Experiments confirm it again and again. In laboratories, scientists accelerate particles to near the speed of light. These particles, unstable and short-lived, survive far longer in motion than at rest. Their internal clocks slow down, granting them more time. This is time dilation, written not just in theory but in reality. Moving clocks truly run slow, and yet for those passengers, nothing feels altered. Their watches tick steadily, their hearts beat normally, their lives flow as always. To them, it is you, standing still, whose time might appear different. This is the symmetry of relativity. Each observer trusts their own rhythm even as they see others drift. Truth is tied to motion. The river of time has no single pace but many, each loyal to its own course. You might ask, does this matter in daily life? For speeds familiar to you, walking, driving, even flying, time dilation is tiny, measured in billionths of a second, too subtle to notice. But as speeds climb higher, closer to light itself, the differences become vast. A clock on a spacecraft moving at incredible velocity could slow so much that years pass for people on Earth, while only months pass for those aboard. Journeys across the stars become not just possible, but strangely stretched, where travellers return younger than those they left behind. This is the heart of the famous twin paradox. One twin stays on Earth, the other travels through space at near light speed. When they meet again, the travelling twin is younger. Their moving clock ran slow, their body aged more gently, while Earth's clock ticked on. What seems like science fiction is a direct consequence of relativity's gentle law. Motion alters time. Clocks that move disagree with clocks that rest. You can picture this as ripples on the surface of a pond. A stone tossed near you sends rings spreading outward. Another tossed farther away creates rings that overlap but do not match perfectly. Both are waves of water, both true, but their timing differs. So too with clocks in motion. They ripple through time at different rates, overlapping but never identical. This thought may feel dizzying, yet it also brings comfort. Time is not a rigid chain that binds you. It is flexible, responsive, alive. It stretches to honor motion, to preserve light's constancy, to maintain the universe's harmony. Your seconds are yours, faithful and real, even if another's seconds drift away. Close your eyes and imagine again the train, rushing through the night. Inside, passengers dream, their breaths rising and falling. Outside, you stand in the quiet air, your heart ticking in its rhythm. 2 worlds, 2 clocks, 2 truths. Neither is wrong. Both belong to the fabric of space-time, stitched together by relativity. The poetry of this truth is that it honors perspective. Just as memories of the same day differ between friends, just as emotions stretch or shrink your sense of time, the universe itself allows clocks to disagree. Relativity reflects life's own variety. It says there is no single rhythm that rules all hearts, no single measure that binds all journeys. There are only threads woven together into a greater whole. And so, as you drift deeper into this meditation, you carry with you a new awareness. Motion bends time, gently, invisibly, but profoundly. The faster you go, the slower your clock runs, a truth hidden in trains, in particles, in the very beams of light themselves. You rest with this thought, soothed by the river's flexibility. And yet another question begins to stir, quiet but insistent. If motion can slow time, what of gravity, that ancient weight pulling on you even now? You sit quietly and feel the gentle tug of earth beneath you. Gravity holds you close, an invisible hand pressing softly, keeping you from drifting into the sky. You are so accustomed to this pull that you rarely question it. You drop a stone and it falls. You pour water and it descends. Gravity feels ordinary, a constant companion. But what if this pull does more than hold your body in place? What if it reaches deeper into the very flow of time itself? Einstein suggested just that. Gravity is not only about objects falling, it is about space-time bending. The Earth, massive and steady, presses into the cosmic fabric, curving it like a weight on a trampoline, and time woven into that same fabric bends along with it. Seconds here on the ground flow differently than seconds far above. Your clock, quietly ticking, is slowed by Earth's embrace. Imagine 2 clocks, one placed at the top of a tall mountain, the other resting by the sea. The mountain clock, lifted farther from Earth's pull, ticks ever so slightly faster than the one below. The difference is tiny, almost invisible, but it is real. Over long stretches, the clocks disagree, not because either is broken, but because gravity itself stretches their rhythm. The deeper you are in Earth's field, the more gently your seconds fall. To sense this, picture time as raindrops. In open air they fall freely, quickly, but press them through thick mist, and their descent slows, softened by resistance. Gravity acts like that mist, cradling the seconds, holding them closer, letting them slip by more slowly. Here on Earth's surface, your days and nights drift in this softened rain. Climb higher, into thinner gravity, and the drops quicken. You might wonder how anyone could test such a delicate effect. But scientists, with their patience, have done just that. Atomic clocks, precise to unimaginable degrees, reveal the truth. In experiments, one clock is lifted just a meter higher than another, and even at this small distance the difference can be measured. The higher clock ticks faster, the lower slower. Gravity's hand, though gentle, is unrelenting. It does not let go of time's fabric. This idea carries you into a dreamlike thought. Gravity is not only the pull on your body, it is the sculptor of your hours. To live near massive weight is to live in a slower stream. To move far away into deep space is to find a quicker current. The universe does not share a single tempo. Each place hums with its own rhythm, tuned to the gravity it carries. Consider black holes, those silent giants of the cosmos. Their gravity is so immense that time near their edge nearly halts. An observer falling toward the horizon of a black hole would feel seconds flow normally for themselves, but to a distant watcher, their motion would slow, then nearly freeze, as if trapped in stillness. Time, under gravity's extreme grip, becomes almost motionless. Even here on Earth, though the effect is faint, it matters deeply. The satellites orbiting high above must account for both motion and gravity's influence on time. Their clocks, uncorrected, would quickly drift from ours on the ground. GPS signals, meant to guide you through city streets, would scatter, maps turning unreliable. Technology functions only because Einstein's insight about gravity and time is written into every calculation. Without it, you could not trust the voice guiding you home. You pause and realize how intimate this connection is. Gravity is not distant or abstract. It is present in every step you take, every breath you draw, every second that passes. The very fact that your body feels weight is tied to the way your time flows. The floor beneath you does not just support you, it slows you, imperceptibly shaping the rhythm of your life. Reflect for a moment on the strange kindness of this truth. You are not separate from the earth. You are bound into its fabric, your seconds woven with its gravity. Your time is Earth's time, shaped by its embrace, and if you were to leave, if you were to drift upward into orbit, you would carry a different rhythm, slightly detached, slightly quicker. Each heartbeat would widen the gap between the time you live and the time others live below. This thought can feel unsettling, but it also carries a lullaby-like peace. It reminds you that the universe does not rush. It bends, it yields, it allows differences to coexist. Two clocks, one in the valley and one on the mountain, can disagree without conflict. Each holds its truth, each ticks faithfully, each belongs to its place in space-time's fabric. You close your eyes and imagine standing by the ocean, your feet pressed into sand, your body heavy with Earth's pull. Time here is slow, patient. Then imagine climbing high peaks, thin air around you, the sky open and wide. Time there is lighter, quicker. You drift between these images, feeling how gravity cradles each place differently. The Earth is not only your home, it is your timekeeper. Extend this vision further to the cosmos. Every planet, every star, every galaxy bends time around itself. The universe is not one uniform flow, but a patchwork of currents, some quick, some slow. To travel across it is to move between rhythms, to listen to a symphony of clocks, each tuned to its gravity. You are a listener to this music, your own seconds playing in harmony with Earth's deep bass. And so, gravity becomes not just a force but a storyteller. It writes tales of mountains and valleys, of satellites and black holes, all through the shaping of time. Your story, too, is written in its ink. You are carried by its grip, slowed gently by its hand, woven into its vast design. As you rest in this realization, you feel gratitude for the simplicity of your present moment. To sit, to breathe, to let seconds pass. These are not ordinary acts, but miracles woven into space-time's curved fabric. The ground beneath you is not just solid, it is a well in which your time drifts more slowly, quietly, patiently. You linger with this thought, rocked by its calm rhythm. Motion bends time, yes, but so too does gravity, and together they weave the strange truth of relativity. Your seconds are never quite the same as another's. They are shaped by speed, shaped by mass, shaped by the unseen curves of the cosmos itself. And yet you wonder softly, if your body itself is made of rhythms and pulses, if every breath and beat is its own clock, how does gravity's hand touch not just the seconds on a watch, but the living clocks within you? Close your eyes and place a hand over your chest. You feel the gentle thump of your heart, steady and patient. A rhythm that began before you were born and will accompany you all your days. This is your first clock. Each beat marks a passing moment, each pause a whisper of time's movement through your body. You do not need a watch to know time exists. Your body carries it within. Your breath is another clock. Inhale, exhale. The rise and fall of your chest measures time as surely as the ticking of a pendulum. When you are calm, the breaths come slowly, stretching moments wide. When you are anxious, they come fast, compressing moments into sharp fragments. Even without numbers, you know the difference. Your lungs count your hours in cycles of air. Look deeper still and you find smaller clocks. Your cells divide and repair themselves in rhythms measured in hours and days. Hormones rise and fall, shaping your moods and energy with daily and monthly patterns. Your brain itself hums with cycles, waves of activity that guide you into sleep, dreams, and waking. Each rhythm is a tick, measure of time unfolding inside you. Together, these rhythms form a living calendar. Your body is not separate from times, it is made of time. Every heartbeat is a second hand. Every breath is a minute hand. Every year of growth and aging is the slow turning of an hour hand on the face of your life. You are, in every sense, a clock that walks and breathes. And yet, just as with the clocks of satellites and towers, your body's rhythms bend with motion and gravity. If you lived high in the mountains, your heart would still beat. But in space-time's grand design, your seconds would pass more quickly than at the sea. If you travelled in orbit, your breaths would count time at a different rate than those on Earth. Though you feel no change, though your life feels seamless, relativity whispers through your very cells. Imagine two twins again, but this time focus not on the watches on their wrists, but on their bodies. One stays on Earth, heart beating in gravity's grip. The other travels in a spacecraft, body carried at tremendous speed. When they reunite, they are not only separated by clocks, they are separated by biology itself. One has aged more, one less. Time has written itself differently into their skin, their bones, their memories. Their bodies are living proof of relativity's reach. This is not only theory. Airplane pilots, astronauts, and satellites carry bodies that experience tiny differences in time compared to those on Earth. These shifts are almost invisible, fractions of seconds over lifetimes, but they are there. Technology can measure what the body cannot feel, and yet, even without measurement, the poetry remains. Your body is not just a passenger in time. It is a vessel shaped by the river's currents. Think of your daily rhythms, the way you sleep at night and wake in the morning. This circadian clock is guided by light, by the turning of the earth, by the soft cues of sunrise and sunset. But even this rhythm is flexible. Shift your environment and your body adjusts. Travel across time zones, and your clock drifts, searching for alignment. Gravity and speed may bend time from outside, but your body bends time from within, adapting, syncing, recalibrating. There is comfort in this adaptability. Your body does not demand one rigid truth. It listens, it adjusts, it flows. Just as the universe allows many nows, your body allows many rhythms, some fast, some slow, some hidden deep in the pulse of cells. Altogether, they form the music of your existence. Pause for a moment and notice how many clocks you carry. The tapping of your pulse, the expansion of your lungs, the slow drift of fatigue when night arrives. Even hunger is a clock reminding you that hours have passed. Your body is not only a keeper of time, it is time expressed in living form. And so you find yourself connected to relativity in an intimate way. It is not just about trains and satellites, about black holes and distant stars. It is about you, here, breathing, aging, moving. Your seconds are shaped not only by physics, but by the quiet metronomes within you. Each heartbeat is a whisper of Einstein's truth. Time is relative, and you are part of its dance. This thought may soften your perspective. Perhaps you no longer need to cling so tightly to numbers on a clock. Perhaps you can listen instead to your inner rhythms, letting your breath and heart remind you of the flow. You are not separate from the universe's fabric. You are stitched into it, your body ticking in harmony with space-time itself. You drift deeper into this awareness, feeling how your moments are both personal and cosmic. A single second is felt in your chest, yet also stretches across galaxies, bent by stars and gravity. You're small, yet inseparable from the infinite. You are a clock among countless clocks, all disagreeing, all true, all singing together in the quiet music of relativity. And as this realization settles, another question rises gently in your mind. If your body is a clock shaped by gravity and speed, what happens when those clocks are lifted skyward, into the thin air above, into the orbit of astronauts circling Earth? Imagine yourself lying on the grass, the sky wide above, the ground steady below. You feel the pull of Earth anchoring you, while clouds drift slowly in the distance. You belong to the ground, your seconds tied to the weight beneath you. But above, where airplanes soar and satellites glide, time hums to a slightly different tune. The clocks in the sky do not match those on the Earth. This difference is so subtle that you would never feel it in your daily life. Yet, science has revealed it with precision. The higher you rise into the air, the weaker Earth's gravitational pull becomes. Time, once held tightly by gravity's hand, flows a little more freely. Clocks aboard planes, clocks aboard satellites, tick slightly faster than clocks rooted in valleys and cities. Now add motion, for when you move swiftly, time slows, stretched by the demands of relativity. Satellites and jets circle Earth at great speed, and so their clocks drift again, but this time in the opposite direction. They are slowed by motion, even as they are quickened by weaker gravity. Two effects, opposite yet intertwined, weaving a complex harmony in the sky. You can picture it as a choir of voices. The ground sings a steady note, low and deep. The satellites above sing lighter notes, sometimes faster, sometimes slower, depending on their height and motion. The result is not chaos, but a layered harmony, a song of relativity. And though the voices do not match, together they form the music of time itself. Consider astronauts circling Earth in the International Space Station. They live in a realm where both effects play. Their clocks, slowed by speed yet quickened by altitude, strike a balance. The result is tiny. After months in orbit, they return younger by only fractions of a second compared to those who remained on the ground. Yet even this delicate difference is real, written into their bodies, woven into their aging. Pilots too carry these whispers of time. Flying high above the Earth, their watches tick a little quicker than yours. The difference is minute, measured only by atomic clocks, but it is there. A pilot in the air and a farmer in the field live in slightly different tempos. Their nows do not perfectly align, though both feel complete in themselves. Technology depends on this truth. The satellites guiding your phone's navigation must constantly adjust for both gravity's release and motion's drag on time. Without correction, the signals would wander, maps would lose accuracy, and directions would falter. Your daily trust in GPS, in being led down the right road, relies on Einstein's quiet law. Above and below, clocks disagree, but engineers ensure their voices harmonize. Pause and let that sink in. The simple act of walking through a city, following a glowing map on your phone, depends on the bending of time in the sky. You may think of relativity as remote, a story of black holes and distant stars, but it is here, guiding your steps, shaping your journeys, whispering through every signal from the satellites overhead. Reflect on the poetry of this, the sky and the ground, forever linked, forever different. You're tied to Earth's pull, slowed gently by its gravity. Above, time loosens its pace, quickened in orbit, stretched by speed. Both are true. Both belong to the same river, yet they never match perfectly. The universe does not demand perfect agreement. It allows difference, and from difference, harmony. You might imagine yourself as both traveller and witness. On the ground, you live by Earth's heavy clock, but in dreams you rise, circling the planet at thousands of miles per hour. You see cities blur, oceans stretch, clouds swirl beneath you. Your body feels the same, heart steady, breath calm, but your time is drifting, slow and quick at once, shaped by gravity's grip and speed's release. When you return, you're not the same as those you left behind. You have lived by another rhythm. This truth reminds you that time is never one thing. It is a patchwork quilt, stitched differently in different places, yet warming all who lie beneath it. The ground and the sky hum their own verses, but together they compose the universe's lullaby. You too are part of that song, your seconds blending with the countless others sung by Earth and space alike. Think of it in softer imagery. A violin plays a steady melody. A flute joins, lighter and faster, weaving above. A cello rumbles below, slower, heavier. Each instrument plays in its own tempo, yet together they form music. Time, in the sky and on the ground, is such a symphony. It does not require unison, it thrives on variation, and in this variation lies comfort. You do not need to fear disagreement. Your seconds remain true to you, just as the pilots are true to them, just as the astronauts are true in orbit. The universe is vast enough to hold them all, patient enough to let each rhythm exist without correction. Relativity is not a flaw, but a kindness, allowing many truths to breathe together. As you settle into this reflection, your mind grows quieter. You feel the pull of Earth beneath, grounding you. You imagine the satellites above, their clocks ticking differently, guiding unseen signals across the sky. You realize you're cradled between two worlds, the ground and the heavens, your life shaped by both. And then a question stirs, soft as a breeze at dusk. If moving clocks run slow, and gravity holds clocks back. What happens when two lives separate completely? When one remains on Earth and the other sails away among the stars? Close your eyes and picture two children, identical twins, growing up together beneath the same sky. They share the same laughter, the same games, the same rhythms of life. Their clocks, hearts, breaths, the invisible ticking of their bodies beat in harmony. Side by side they move through childhood, through days of sunlight and nights of whispered dreams. Now imagine that as they grow older, their paths diverge. One remains on Earth, living in the familiar embrace of gravity, walking through seasons of rain and bloom. The other is chosen for a great journey, to sail into space aboard a ship that moves at tremendous speed. The moment of parting comes, and with it, a mystery begins. For though their love and their memories remain the same, their clocks will not. The traveller's ship lifts from the earth, engines burning softly against the dark. To those left behind, the ship appears to rush forward, cutting across the velvet of night. Inside, the twin feels steady, secure. Their heartbeat is calm, their watch ticks as always, their life flows normally. Yet compared to the sibling left behind, their seconds begin to stretch. Each moment aboard the ship is slightly slower, not to their own senses, but in the eyes of the universe. Time dilation takes hold, gentle but profound. The twin who travels moves near the speed of light, and so their clock slows. They live each day as they always have, but less of the universe's time passes for them than for the sibling who remains. It is as though they step into a slower current of the river, while their sibling is carried by a faster stream. Years pass. On Earth the twin grows older, wrinkles forming, hair greying, memories filling the spaces of a long life. In space the other twin lives fewer years. Their body ages more slowly, their clock lagging behind. And yet, to the traveller nothing feels unusual. They do not sense slowness. Their heart and breath remain true to themselves. The paradox is not experienced, but revealed only when they return. Now imagine the moment of reunion. The ship descends, glowing against the sky, and the travelling twin steps once again onto familiar ground. They expect to meet their sibling as they left them, only a little older perhaps, but instead they find someone transformed, aged far beyond their own reflection. The sibling who remained has lived decades more, while the traveller carries the face of youth. Two lives, born together, have drifted apart in time. This is the twin paradox, a tale not of contradiction but of relativity's beauty. For the twins' clocks are both true, both faithful. The difference lies not in error, but in the fabric of space-time itself. Motion has bent time for one, while gravity has shaped it for the other. When they meet, the divergence is undeniable. Their lives, once synchronized, are now written in different tempos. You may wonder why one twin ages less while the other grows old. The key lies in the asymmetry of their journeys. The traveller departs, accelerates, turns, and returns. They do not remain in a single frame of rest, but shift between motions. The sibling on Earth follows a steadier path, tied to gravity's hand but not flung through space. Their rhythms differ, and so their clocks diverge. To make this vivid, imagine two trees planted side by side. One grows quietly in a valley, rooted firmly in the soil. The other is carried away, transplanted, exposed to new winds, different seasons, unfamiliar rains. When they are brought together again, they no longer look the same. One carries the marks of long weathering, the other remains younger. Both are real, both have grown, but differently. The twin paradox is not only a scientific story but a deeply human one. It speaks to the nature of separation, of journeys that pull loved ones apart, of reunions marked by change. It reminds you that even in physics, there are tales of distance, longing, and return. Time itself becomes the storyteller, shaping lives differently depending on the paths they take. Scientists have tested this story in smaller ways. Jets flying across the Earth, carrying atomic clocks, return with times that disagree with clocks left behind. The difference is tiny but measurable. Astronauts circling Earth return fractionally younger than if they had stayed. The paradox, though grand in its imagery, is written into these real experiments. It is not fantasy, but fact. Yet beyond the numbers, the tale invites you to reflect. Each of us, in our own way, is like the twins. We share moments with others, synchronized for a time, but then our paths diverge. Some lives move swiftly, others more slowly. Some are shaped by travel, by change, by the stretching of experience. When we meet again, we find we are not the same as when we parted. Time has touched us differently, but all of it is true. The paradox also invites you to imagine your own journey. If you could travel at such speeds, if you could return years younger than those you left behind, how would you feel? Would it be a gift to have more time, or would it be a sorrow to lose moments with those you love? Relativity is not only a scientific law, it is a meditation on life itself. The river of time carries us all, but not always at the same pace. You rest with this thought, comforted by the gentleness of relativity's law. The universe does not impose one rhythm on all. It allows variation, it allows individuality, it allows difference. Each life flows as it must, shaped by motion, shaped by gravity, shaped by path. As the story of the twins closes, you feel both wonder and a lingering ache. They began together, they diverged, they returned changed. And though this is only a thought experiment, it reflects something deeply true. No two journeys are ever the same. And now, as you drift deeper into the quiet, another question begins to rise. If human stories and human lives can be tested by clocks, what instruments could we trust to measure time with perfect precision, catching even the faintest whispers of relativity? You may wonder how scientists can know such delicate truths about time. How can anyone measure differences so small, so subtle that they vanish to human senses? The answer lies in the most faithful clocks ever built: atomic clocks. These instruments do not rely on pendulums swinging or gears turning. They keep time by listening to the heartbeat of atoms themselves. Picture a cesium atom, small beyond imagination, yet humming with a rhythm more steady than any metronome. When struck by microwaves at just the right frequency, the atom shifts between energy states, like a string plucked into vibration. That vibration is perfectly regular, repeating billions of times per second. Scientists use this consistency as their measure of time. 1 second, by definition, is tied to the oscillations of cesium atoms. In this way, time is anchored not to human invention, but to nature's most precise pulse. These clocks are astonishingly accurate. If left to tick for millions of years, an atomic clock would drift by less than a second. Imagine that, a machine so faithful that it could outlast civilizations, continents, perhaps even stars, while keeping nearly perfect time. And yet, despite this perfection, even atomic clocks reveal relativity's truth. Place 2 of them in different conditions, one on a mountain, one in a valley, one moving swiftly, one at rest, and they will disagree. At first glance, this disagreement may seem like failure. How can 2 instruments built to be flawless tick at different rates? But this is not error. It is the universe itself speaking. The clocks are mirrors of space-time, showing how gravity and motion bend the flow of seconds. They are gentle proofs of Einstein's insight, their tiny differences confirming what theory predicted decades before. Imagine a laboratory, quiet and dim, where glowing dials mark the passage of atomic oscillations. One clock sits steady on a table. Another, identical in design, is lifted to a higher floor of the building. Scientists wait, measure, compare. Over time, the clocks drift apart. The higher one ticks faster, the lower one slower. The difference is unimaginably small, fractions of a billionth of a second, but measurable. Here, in the silence of a laboratory, relativity is confirmed. This is the beauty of science. Truths that seem abstract, unreachable, are revealed through patience and precision. Einstein once imagined trains, light beams, and thought experiments. Decades later, atomic clocks make those imaginings tangible, measurable, undeniable. Each tick is a whisper. Time is relative. Time is flexible. Time bends. Reflect on the poetry of this. The most advanced tools of humanity reveal not chaos, but harmony. Atomic clocks do not break the rules, they embody them. Their disagreements are not flaws, but songs, each instrument playing its part in spacetime's orchestra. A clock on Earth's surface hums one melody, a clock in orbit hums another, and together they prove the universe's design. You carry these proofs with you every day without noticing. The satellites above, guiding your steps, depend on atomic clocks. Dozens orbit Earth, each carrying several such instruments, all synchronized with extraordinary care. Yet none of them tick exactly as the ones on the ground. Engineers adjust constantly, ensuring harmony. Without these adjustments, your maps would be wrong within minutes, your directions leading you astray. You live in a world where relativity is not only theory but practice woven into your ordinary routines. Pause and let this realization soothe you. Even in the vast complexity of the cosmos, certainty is possible. Atomic clocks, faithful beyond imagination, tell you that time bends exactly as predicted. They offer comfort in their precision, a reminder that the universe, however strange, is knowable. The bending of time is not random but gentle, lawful, consistent. You might think of these clocks as lighthouses. Each tick is a beam of clarity shining into the fog of relativity. Alone, you cannot see the difference between your seconds and another's. But with these instruments, the truth is illuminated. The clocks guide you, not across oceans, but across the fabric of time itself. And beyond their scientific role, there is something poetic in their constancy. While human hearts falter, while memories fade, while days feel long or short depending on mood, the atoms hum steadily. They do not tire, they do not waver, they sing the same note again and again, faithful and calm, and yet even they must bow to space-time, their songs stretching or shrinking under motion and gravity. This thought reminds you of humility. No matter how precise our instruments, no matter how perfect our designs, the universe holds sway. We do not dictate the rhythm of time, we discover it, we follow it, we listen. Even our best clocks are students of the cosmos, learning with each tick how deeply relativity weaves into reality. You drift deeper into this reflection, picturing countless laboratories across the world, each with glowing atomic clocks, each measuring, comparing, confirming. Across continents and oceans, as scientists share data, aligning their instruments, refining their precision. Together, they stitch a network of timekeepers that define what a second means for all humanity. Yet beneath this unity lies relativity's gentle truth. Each clock ticks in its own frame, and perfect agreement is impossible. The differences are not mistakes but features of the universe itself. And so as you rest, you find peace in the paradox. Time is flexible yet measurable. It bends yet predictably. It disagrees yet harmonizes. Atomic clocks prove this again and again, their tiny ticks echoing across the earth and sky. As you linger on this thought, another image arises. Satellites high above, their clocks adjusted constantly to guide you home. You realize the story does not end in laboratories. The bending of time is written into the technology you hold in your hand. And so the next question comes softly. If even your phone listens to relativity, how do the satellites in the sky keep the map of your world aligned? Imagine yourself walking through a city, streets weaving like veins, buildings rising in soft evening light. You glance at your phone, and it tells you where you are, your position marked with a glowing dot, a quiet guide through the maze. It feels simple, ordinary, yet hidden inside that moment is a vast network of satellites, clocks, and equations, all tuned to the bending of time itself. High above Earth, satellites orbit in silence. Each carries atomic clocks humming with steady precision. They send signals down to you, beams of time and distance, telling your phone how far away they are. By listening to several satellites at once, your phone can triangulate your position. It is like standing in a forest and hearing birds call from different branches. By noting when each song reaches your ears, you know where you are. But the song is not simple. The satellites are high above, where Earth's gravity is weaker, so their clocks tick faster. They are also rushing into orbit, their speed slowing their time again. Both effects push against each other, bending the rhythm of the satellites' seconds. If left uncorrected, these differences would grow, and the map in your hand would begin to wander. Within a single day, the error would stretch to kilometers. Streets would blur, directions would fail, the glowing dot would drift away from truth. And so, every moment, hidden mathematics is at work. Engineers adjust the clocks on the satellites, accounting for relativity's pull. They build corrections into the very signals the satellites send. When your phone listens, it hears not only the ticking of atomic clocks, but also the whisper of Einstein's equations. Without these corrections, you could not trust the map that leads you home. Think of the poetry in this. A theory born from thought experiments, light beams, trains, twins, now lives inside your pocket. Einstein's gentle disruption, once scribbled in notebooks, now guides cars through traffic, hikers through forests, ships across oceans. Relativity has moved from abstraction into intimacy, shaping the smallest details of your daily life. Pause and imagine the satellites themselves. They circle Earth in calm precision, dozens of them, each tracing a path across the sky. Though invisible to your eyes, they form a constellation, a quiet net stretched above the planet. Their signals cross and weave, reaching every place, every step. They are not merely machines, they are timekeepers, guardians of relativity's truths, ensuring that human movement aligns with cosmic law. Reflect on how strange and beautiful this is. Every time you walk, drive, or explore, you are carried not only by your own rhythm, but by the rhythm of space-time itself. The satellites correct their voices so you may walk steadily on the ground. Your steps are guided by stars of our own making, tuned to the bending of time. You might picture this as a great orchestra. Each satellite is an instrument, playing its note of time. On their own, their voices would drift apart, some too fast, some too slow. But together, guided by relativity, they are tuned into harmony. Your phone listens not to one note but to many, blending them into a symphony that tells you exactly where you are. And what a gentle reminder this becomes. Even the most ordinary acts, finding a cafe, meeting a friend, travelling home, are connected to the deepest truths of the universe. Every direction you follow is shaped by corrections for time dilation, by adjustments to clocks in the sky. Your daily life is, in this way, cradled by Einstein's insight. The precision is astonishing. Signals travel at the speed of light, and yet even nanoseconds of difference matter. A delay of 1/1000th of a second means your position could shift by feet or yards. Engineers cannot ignore relativity, they must embrace it fully. Without those tiny corrections, the world's navigation would dissolve into confusion. The fact that you never notice this, that your glowing dot remains faithful, is proof of how deeply relativity has been woven into human life. There is comfort in this hidden connection. You are not adrift. The universe's laws hold you, guide you, keep you aligned. Above you, satellites hum, their clocks adjusted, their signals corrected, all so that you can walk with certainty through the world below. You do not feel the weight of equations pressing on your steps, yet they are there, ensuring that you arrive. And perhaps as you rest, you see how this story mirrors something deeper. Each of us carries our own clocks, our own truths, our own rhythms. Left alone, we drift apart, our voices out of sync. But with attention, with correction, with care, we harmonize. Like satellites adjusting their time, people adjust for one another, finding ways to stay connected even when rhythms differ. Relativity in this way is not only physics but metaphor. You close your eyes and imagine walking again, guided by that glowing dot. Around you the city is vast, yet you do not feel lost. Above, satellites circle in silence, their clocks tuned by relativity, their signals singing softly. Each step you take is aligned with cosmic law, each direction held steady by the universe's fabric. And then a thought stirs. If satellites depend on relativity's truths, what else in the cosmos might reveal its secrets? If atomic clocks and GPS prove Einstein correct, what might light itself, timeless, ageless, teach you about the flow of time? Close your eyes and picture a beam of sunlight entering your window. It warms your face, soft and golden, yet what you feel is more than warmth. You are touched by photons, tiny particles of light that have travelled across space to reach you. They may have left the sun 8 minutes ago, flying across 93 million miles, yet they arrive as fresh as the moment they were born. This is the secret of light. It does not age. While your body grows older with every heartbeat, while clocks tick and memories accumulate, photons remain timeless. They move at the speed of light, and at that speed, time itself ceases to pass. To a photon, there is no before and no after, no journey at all. Its creation and its arrival are the same instant. Pause and let that settle into you. Imagine how strange it must be to exist without the burden of time. For you, even moments of stillness carry the weight of passing seconds. But for light, there is no waiting, no aging, no change. Each photon is a silent witness to the unfolding universe, untouched by the flow that bends every other clock. You can picture photons as ancient messengers. When you look at a star in the night sky, the light reaching your eyes may have travelled for thousands, even for millions of years. Yet it has not grown tired along the way. It has not slowed, weakened, or wrinkled with age. It arrives with the same freshness it carried at its birth, whispering to you of a past so distant it stretches your imagination. Think of this as a kind of immortality. Everything else in the cosmos, mountains, rivers, planets, people, carries the mark of time. They erode, evolve, change, but light is eternal in its flight. It weaves through space without decay, bearing perfect memory of its origin. When you gaze at starlight, you are not only looking into distance, but into history itself. You see the star as it was, not as it is, because light has preserved that moment unaltered. This timelessness is more than poetic. It is central to relativity. Einstein showed that nothing can move faster than light, because light is the speed at which time itself becomes still. To approach that speed is to slow your clock, to stretch your seconds, to draw nearer to light's eternal perspective. But to be light is to live outside time entirely. Photons are the silent witnesses to relativity, proof that time can bend so far it stops. Imagine standing on a shore watching waves roll in. Each wave is like a photon carrying energy from the sea toward you. The water churns, shifts, changes, but the wave itself seems whole, untouched by the distance it has crossed. Photons are like that, but grander. Waves of the universe that never lose their rhythm. They carry information, warmth, and colour, yet they carry no age. This thought can soothe you, for though your body is bound to time, though you must grow older, you are constantly bathed in light that defies aging. Every photon that brushes your skin or fills your eyes is timeless. In this way, you are always touched by eternity, always connected to something beyond the ticking of your own clock. Consider also how light shapes life. Photosynthesis in leaves transforms photons into energy, fueling forests and fields. Your body too is built on light, sustained by food that was once sunlight captured by plants. The photons, though timeless, become part of your story woven into your body's rhythms, feeding your inner clocks. Even in your heartbeat, there is the memory of light. And light is not only nourishment, it is guidance. Astronomers read photons to understand the cosmos. Telescopes catch their faint arrival, decoding their colours, their patterns, their shifts. From this, scientists know the age of stars, the motion of galaxies, the birth of the universe itself. Light, though it knows no time, carries the story of time for everything else. It is a witness, silent yet eloquent. Pause and let your breath slow. Imagine a single photon leaving a star at the edge of the universe. It travels billions of years to reach us, yet for the photon no time has passed. To you the journey seems unimaginable in length. To the photon it is instantaneous. Creation and arrival one, past and present merged. This is the paradox of light. It tells time's story without ever being touched by it. And what does that mean for you? Perhaps it is a reminder that while you must live within time's current, you can glimpse eternity through light. Every sunrise, every starry night is a window into timelessness. You are not locked away from infinity. You are bathed in it daily. Photons touch your skin, your eyes, your heart. They are ageless visitors, reminding you of a universe that is larger, stranger, and more generous than you can fully comprehend. There is also humility here. You may think of yourself as the centre of your moments, the keeper of your hours. But light shows you another truth. You are a participant in something vast, a being carried within a cosmos where even time itself can bend, pause, or vanish. Photons slip past you, carrying stories older than humanity, older than Earth, yet they ask nothing in return. They simply arrive, eternal gifts of the universe. You rest with this thought, your breathing steady, your mind softened. Imagine yourself surrounded by light, not just from the sun, but from stars, from galaxies, from the deep past. Every photon you see tonight is a messenger, ageless and pure, whispering, "You are part of this vastness. You're a child of the timeless. And then, as you drift deeper, a question stirs in you. If light can escape time, what happens when you approach its speed? Not as a particle of light, but as a traveller of dreams racing ever closer to its horizon. Close your eyes and imagine running. At first, your feet strike the ground with familiar rhythm, steady breaths filling your chest. The world blurs slightly as you move, but time feels the same. Each second follows the next. Each moment passes as you expect. Now, imagine running faster, faster than any human could. The wind roars, the landscape stretches, trees become streaks of green and sky becomes a long smear of blue. Still, your body feels normal, your heart beats, your breath rises and falls, your thoughts continue their flow. To you, nothing unusual has changed. But to an observer standing still, something remarkable is happening. Your clock begins to slow. The faster you go, the more your seconds lengthen. Each tick of your watch takes a little longer. Each beat of your heart stretches wider. To those watching, you are aging more slowly than they are. For them, time continues its familiar rhythm. For you, carried by speed, time has softened, stretched, almost paused. This is the dreamlike truth of relativity. Motion bends time, and the closer you move to light's speed, the stronger the effect becomes. Imagine boarding a spacecraft that accelerates faster and faster, approaching the cosmic limit. To you, the days inside unfold as always, meals, sleep, conversation. But to those left behind on Earth, decades pass. For every hour you live, years slip by for them. Your dream of speed becomes their history. Pause and reflect on this paradox. The faster you travel, the less of life you seem to lose. Your seconds are preserved, stretched out, allowing you to live more slowly. Yet at the same time, you're cut off from the rhythm of others. When you return, you find that their lives have raced ahead while yours has lingered. Speed gives you time, but it also steals time with those you love. To picture this, imagine two rivers. One flows gently, its currents slow and patient. Another rushes quickly, carrying its water farther in less time. You might think the rushing river moves faster, but in relativity's design, the faster path slows its own time. The calm river reaches its destination sooner. The rushing one stretches its journey endlessly. The dream of speed is not haste but delay. There is poetry here. Life often feels hurried, pressed forward by obligations and demands, but relativity suggests a secret. Motion itself can slow time's flow. In a dream of speed, you're given more of life, not less. Your heart beats slower in the universe's eyes, your moments expand, your story lengthens. Consider astronauts, though their speeds are far from light's limit. Their orbits grant them tiny gifts of time, fractions of a second preserved. They do not notice, but the principle remains. The faster the journey, the slower the clock. On Earth, seconds tick steadily. In orbit, they stretch. Even these whispers are real, small echoes of the greater dream. In your imagination, you can take the dream further. Picture yourself nearing the speed of light. Stars blur into streaks, space folds around you, the universe ahead narrowing into a tunnel of light. Inside, your body feels unchanged. Your watch ticks, your breath flows. Yet outside, centuries pass. Civilizations rise and fall, galaxies drift. You're a traveller preserved in a bubble of stretched time, while history races beyond you. This image is not fantasy, but physics. Relativity allows it, even demands it. The dream of speed becomes the dream of survival across ages. If you could travel so swiftly, you could journey into the future, arriving when all else has changed, while you remain almost the same. But there is gentleness in this dream too. It is not only about separation or loss, it is also about the pliability of existence. Time is not a rigid ruler. It is a fabric that responds to your path. You're not trapped in one tempo. The universe allows variety, flexibility, possibility. This is not a burden but a gift, reminding you that even the most certain truths, like the ticking of a second, are softer than you think. Let the dream carry you further. Imagine a moment when your ship finally stops, when you return to Earth. You step out, your body younger than the world you left. The streets are different, the language changed, the faces unrecognizable. You are a visitor from the past, preserved by speed. the dream becomes bittersweet. You have gained time but lost a shared present. Perhaps that is why this dream is best lived in imagination. It soothes you with its paradox, without asking you to bear its sorrow. You can float in the thought that motion itself is a lullaby, stretching your moments, softening your seconds, without needing to leave those you love behind. The dream shows you what is possible, not what is required. And so, as you rest, you carry this paradox gently. Speed slows time. The faster you go, the longer your moments last. A truth at once strange and comforting, a reminder that the universe is softer, kinder, more flexible than you imagined. Your breath deepens, your body still. The dream of speed cradles you, whispering that even motion, even haste can hold peace. And yet, as the dream fades, another vision rises. If speed can stretch time and gravity can bend it, then perhaps together they form not rivers but oceans, vast, rippling, carrying all things through the tides of space-time. Close your eyes and picture an ocean, endless, calm and deep. Its surface stretches beyond the horizon, smooth as glass in one moment, rippling with waves the next. Now imagine that this ocean is not made of water, but of something far more mysterious. It is made of space and time themselves, woven together into a single vast sea. Every planet, every star, every body floats upon it. You too are a vessel on this ocean, carried by currents you cannot see. This is Einstein's vision of space-time. Instead of thinking of space as empty and time as separate, he joined them into one living fabric. Like an ocean, space-time can bend, ripple, and carry motion across its surface. The movements of planets, the fall of an apple, the swing of your body as you walk, all are not simply actions in space, but journeys across the sea. Picture the Earth as a ship resting on space-time's surface. Its weight presses down, creating a dip, a curve, a hollow in the ocean. The moon circles Earth not because of an invisible string pulling it, but because it rides the curve created by Earth's presence. Like a small boat caught in the swirl of a larger vessel, the moon drifts endlessly around our planet. Gravity, then, is not a force reaching out, but the effect of boats navigating spacetime's curves. You too feel this ocean beneath you. The reason you stay on the ground is not that Earth tugs you with invisible fingers, but because spacetime itself slopes downward toward Earth's center. You are following the curve of the ocean, always gently falling into the dip that Earth creates. Your body is a traveler, not forced but guided, like a leaf floating where currents lead. Now imagine waves upon this sea. Massive objects, like black holes or colliding stars, send ripples through space-time. These waves travel across the cosmos, carrying news of distant events. They are unimaginably faint by the time they reach Earth, stretching space by less than the width of an atom. Yet detectors here have felt them, great instruments listening for the ocean's whispers. Each ripple is a story, two black holes merging, galaxies trembling with motion, the fabric of the universe itself alive. Pause and let this imagery soften you. An ocean of space-time surrounds you always, though invisible. Every step you take, every breath you draw is carried upon its tides. You may think of yourself as standing still, but you are always drifting, floating through the sea, guided by its gentle curves. The Earth carries you as it sails around the sun. The sun carries you as it glides through the galaxy. The galaxy itself sails on the larger currents of the universe. Reflect on the poetry of this. You are not separate from the cosmos, but part of its voyage. The ocean of space-time does not exclude you, it holds you. You are as much a traveller as any star or planet carried by unseen tides. Just as boats rise and fall with waves, your time, your moments, your very aging bends with the ripples of this fabric. Imagine lying on your back, watching the night sky. Each star above is another vessel floating on the same ocean. Their light, ageless photons travels across the sea, crossing waves and curves, yet always arriving. You are connected to them, not by imagination but by physics. You share the same water, the same fabric, the same endless ocean. Scientists often describe space-time with diagrams, grids bending under the weight of planets and stars. But in your mind, the metaphor of the sea is softer, easier to hold. You're a sailor in this cosmic expanse, though you never lift a sail. Your body moves with the currents. Your seconds are shaped by the tides. The ocean carries all things, silently, patiently. Consider how this ocean shapes time itself. Near Earth's surface, where the dip is steep, time slows. Farther away, where the ocean flattens, time quickens. The sea does not only carry you in space, it carries you in time as well. You're not just sailing across distance, but across moments, each shaped by the depth of the curve around you. And what of black holes, those dark whirlpools in space-time? They are storms on this ocean, whirlpools so deep that nothing escapes. Light itself, though timeless, cannot climb free once caught. To sail too near is to be pulled into the spiral, lost beyond return. Yet even from afar you can feel their influence, the way they stir the waters, the way they send ripples outward. This ocean is vast, mysterious, but also tender. It cradles stars, galaxies, even the smallest particles, holding them in gentle order. It is the stage and the current, the foundation and the motion. And though you cannot see it, you live within it every moment, a passenger on its quiet waves. Pause again, breathe deeply, and picture yourself as a small vessel, adrift. You need no oars, no sails. The ocean moves for you. The planets, the stars, the galaxies are fellow travellers, each carried by the same invisible sea. There is peace in knowing you are not alone, not lost, but always part of the voyage. This thought can soothe you into stillness. The universe may seem vast and overwhelming, but it holds you with the same care it holds galaxies. You are not separate from its fabric. You are a thread in the weave, a boat on the tide. The ocean of space-time is not something you must master. It is something that carries you, faithfully, endlessly. And so you rest with this vision. You're surrounded by currents you cannot feel, ripples you cannot see, waves you cannot hear. Yet they are real and they guide you. The cosmos is not empty. It is full, alive, moving. You are always afloat, always carried, always safe in the arms of this boundless sea. As you drift deeper into this awareness, a gentle question begins to rise. If the universe itself is an ocean, then what is its great clock? How does the cosmos as a whole measure its own time, its own vast unfolding? Close your eyes and let your imagination expand outward. First you see the Earth, turning quietly beneath your feet. Then the moon, circling in its endless orbit. Then the sun blazing at the centre of our solar system. Beyond that, the Milky Way stretches, a spiral of stars glowing like lanterns across the dark. And farther still, galaxies upon galaxies, a cosmic ocean of light. In this vastness you wonder, does the universe itself keep time? The answer is yes, though not with ticking hands or chiming bells. The universe's clock is written into its very expansion. Long ago, in the first instant of creation, the cosmos burst forth from a state of unimaginable density and heat. Since then, it has stretched, cooled and grown. Galaxies drift farther apart, stars are born and die, and light itself stretches as space expands. These are the beats of the cosmic clock, steady and unrelenting. Imagine watching a balloon being inflated. Tiny dots on its surface drift away from one another. As the balloon grows, none of the dots move on their own. The surface itself expands. This is the universe's clock. Galaxies receding, space itself carrying them farther apart. Every tick is the measure of distance, the silent unfolding of the cosmos. Astronomers measure this time through light. As galaxies move away, their light stretches, shifting toward red, a cosmic echo of motion. This red shift is like the hands of the universal clock, telling us how long the universe has been expanding, how quickly its seconds are passing. From this, scientists estimate the universe's age, about 13.8 billion years, a number vast enough to make human lifetimes feel like sparks in the night. Yet even this cosmic clock is not absolute. Just as on Earth, where gravity and speed bend time, the universe's great rhythms are felt differently depending on where you stand. An observer near a massive black hole would see the cosmos unfold more slowly. To them, the grand clock would tick at a different pace. In deep space, or from heavy masses, time would flow more quickly. The universe has one story but many tempos. Pause and let that sink in. The largest scale of all, the life of the cosmos, is still subject to relativity. There is no single universal present. No moment all galaxies share. Instead, each observer carries their own slice of the cosmic story, shaped by where they are and how they move. The grand clock ticks differently for each witness, yet together they form the whole. Consider also the stars. Their lives are part of the universe's timekeeping. A star is born from clouds of gas, burns for millions or billions of years, then dies in quiet collapse or fiery explosion. Each star is a clock marking an era of cosmic history. Red giants swell, white dwarfs cool, supernovae flare. Collectively, they tell the age of galaxies, the progression of time across the heavens. Even the background glow of the universe is a clock, the cosmic microwave background, faint radiation left from the early universe, still bathes space. It is the afterglow of the first light, a fossil of creation itself. By measuring its temperature, its faint ripples, scientists trace the universe's infancy, like looking at an old family photograph. The background whispers of a time when the cosmos was only 380,000 years old, a child compared to its current age. This vast clock humbles you. Your seconds, your hours, your years are part of a greater rhythm stretching billions of years. Yet there is comfort here too. Just as your body carries small clocks, heartbeats, breaths, the universe carries its own in galaxies and stars. You and the cosmos mirror one another, both ticking in harmony, though at different scales. Imagine yourself floating in deep space, far from Earth, far from galaxies, surrounded by the quiet expansion of the universe. You cannot see the hands of the cosmic clock, yet you feel its pull, stars drift apart slowly, light stretches, silence deepens. You are a passenger in this vast unfolding, your life a brief note in the symphony of billions of years. And yet that note is essential, for without it the song would be incomplete. Reflect on the paradox. The universe has a clock, yet no single observer sees it the same. For one galaxy, billions of years may have passed. For another, caught near the edge of a black hole, time may move more slowly. There is no master clock that rules all. There are only threads woven together into one immense tapestry. Relativity rules even here, at the scale of the cosmos. This realization is both dizzying and soothing. It tells you that your life, however brief, is stitched into eternity. You walk with seconds, but you're also carried by billions of years. The galaxies drifting apart are as much your story as your own memories. You live not only within human time, but within cosmic time, and both are true. And so you rest, comforted by the thought that the universe itself carries a rhythm. It is not chaos, but order. Not silence, but music. The cosmic clock ticks on. Galaxies as its hands, light as its face, expansion as its pulse. You are part of that ticking, inseparable from its story. But as you drift deeper, another question arises, soft and human. If the universe has its vast clock, what of the smaller clocks you carry inside yourself? The memories, the experiences, the stories that measure the rhythm of your own life. Close your eyes and think of your earliest memory. Perhaps it is a fleeting image, sunlight streaming through a window, a voice calling your name, the scent of a familiar place. That memory is more than a picture in your mind. It is a marker of time. It tells you who you were, when you were, and how you have changed. In this way, your memories are your own private clocks. Unlike the steady ticking of an atomic oscillator or the predictable orbit of planets, memory is flexible. It stretches and shrinks, sometimes vividly clear, sometimes hazy. A single childhood moment may feel like yesterday, while last week may already feel distant. Your mind does not measure time with numbers, it measures with feeling. Each memory is a note in the music of your life, and together they form a rhythm that is uniquely yours. Imagine your memories as lanterns floating down a river. Some glow brightly, illuminating the water around them. Others flicker faintly, nearly disappearing in the dark. The river itself is time, always flowing, always carrying you forward. The lanterns do not measure every moment evenly. They cluster where your attention lingered, where your emotions deepened. They mark not the uniform flow of seconds, but the lived texture of experience. This is why time feels different depending on the season of your life. Childhood summers stretch endlessly because each day is filled with newness, each lantern bright. In adulthood, when routines repeat, the river flows faster, lanterns spaced farther apart. Years can vanish in what feels like an instant, not because time itself changes, but because your memory does not light each moment equally. Reflect on this gentle truth. Your brain is itself a timekeeper, but a relative one. Just as gravity and speed bend the flow of physics, attention and emotion bend the flow of memory. A joyful day may feel longer because your senses gather more detail, more lanterns glowing. A dull day may feel shorter because little is recorded. Your perception of time is as flexible as the fabric of space-time itself. Consider the way nostalgia works. When you recall a memory, you are not travelling back in time physically, but your mind replays the moment so vividly it feels present. The smell of rain on soil can carry you decades back. A melody can return you to a room long gone. Memory collapses time, folding distant past into immediate presence. In this way, your mind bends time, much like relativity does, bridging distances, altering perception. And yet memory is not flawless. It fades, it deteriorates, it reshapes itself. Two people may recall the same day differently, each convinced of their truth. Neither is lying. Memory, like clocks in motion, disagrees, and still both accounts are real in their own frame. This is relativity within you, the truth that perception is always bound to perspective. You may wonder, does memory make time more real or less? Perhaps both. It roots you in a story, reminding you that your life is not only a sequence of seconds but a tapestry of meaning. But it also reveals how soft time is, how it cannot be held tightly. You cannot return to the exact moment. You can only touch its echo. Imagine then that your life is a book. Each memory is a page, some long and detailed, others short and faint. The pages are not evenly filled. Some chapters overflow with vivid scenes, while others pass quickly. When you look back, the book does not read like a clock's steady ticks, but like a novel, flowing unevenly, rich in places, sparse in others. This is the way your inner clock writes time. Pause and breathe. Feel the memories that float in you even now. Perhaps today holds a lantern already, glowing with something you will recall years from now. Perhaps this very reflection will be remembered, gentle and calm, a small marker in your river of time. You're always building your calendar of memory, whether you realize it or not. And here lies comfort. Even though physics shows time as relative, memory shows it as personal. Your life is not measured only by clocks or calendars, but by the stories you keep. You carry your own timekeepers within, fragile, imperfect, but deeply human. There is poetry in knowing that your memories are as relative as satellites or moving trains. They do not align perfectly with others, but they do not need to. Your perception is your truth, your experience your measure. Just as no two clocks in the universe tick the same, no two minds remember the same. Diversity is not error, it is the design. And so you rest with this thought. You are a being of memory, shaped not only by seconds, but by stories. The lanterns you keep are the rhythm of your life, the music only you can hear. Physics tells of galaxies and clocks. Memory tells of laughter and tears. Together, they weave your time. As you drift further into this reflection, a question gently forms. If your memories keep time within, what of the aging of your body, the slow, steady clock of biology, marking years in every cell and breath? Close your eyes and place a hand on your face. You may notice the softness of skin or perhaps the faint trace of years etched around your eyes. Aging is a quiet rhythm, one you do not hear ticking, but one you feel as seasons pass. Your body is a collection of clocks, each cell carrying the story of time, each heartbeat adding to the measure of your life. Think of your body as a candle. Its flame burns brightly, giving warmth and light, yet slowly the wax melts. This melting is the passage of years, the slow and steady dance of aging. Some flames burn faster, some slower, depending on circumstance. And science tells us, surprisingly, that even gravity and motion can shift the tempo of this dance. Imagine two people born at the same moment. One grows up in the valley near the weight of Earth's pull. The other lives on a mountain closer to the sky. Though both live full lives, the one in the valley will age ever so slightly more slowly. Their seconds, held tighter by gravity, stretch longer. The difference is tiny, far too small to notice. But over millions of years it would grow. Gravity leaves its signature not only on clocks, but on bodies. Now imagine astronauts, living high above Earth, circling swiftly in orbit. Their lives are shaped by two forces at once: the speed of their motion, which slows their aging, and the weaker pull of gravity, which quickens it. The balance of these effects means they age a little less than people on Earth. When they return, the difference is minuscule, a fraction of a second, yet it is real. Their bodies have danced to a slightly different tempo of time. This truth reminds you that aging is not only biology, but also physics. You're not aging in isolation. Your cells, your organs, your very being are tied to space-time's currents. The dance of aging is choreographed not just by genetics and lifestyle, but by where you stand in the universe, by how you move through it. Consider the biology itself. Each cell carries DNA, strands of instructions folded tightly. At the ends of these strands are telomeres, caps that shorten as cells divide, like the burning of a candle wick. Over time, as telomeres shorten, cells lose their ability to renew, and the body begins to age. This biological clock ticks within you always. But relativity shows that even this cellular metronome is influenced by gravity and motion. Your biology is inseparable from physics. Pause for a moment and let that settle. Aging feels personal, intimate, but it is also universal, shaped by laws that govern galaxies. You are both candle and cosmos, burning slowly, yet carried by the fabric of space-time. Think of memories again. To you, some years feel short, others long. Yet your body measures time with remarkable fidelity. Your heart has beaten millions of times since birth. Your lungs have risen and fallen in steady cycles. These biological rhythms are clocks just as real as any in a laboratory. And though they are faithful, they too bend with relativity. Your heart in the valley beats within slower time than a heart on the mountain. Not by choice, not by effort, but by the gentle pull of gravity's hand. This softens your view of aging. You realize it is not a march but a dance, not rigid but flexible. The steps vary depending on place, on speed, on circumstance. The universe allows small differences, subtle shifts, making your story unique. Even as all living things age, none age in precisely the same way. Each follows their own rhythm in the cosmic choreography. Reflect on how this changes your sense of time. Aging often feels like a countdown. Each year, another step closer to some inevitable end. But in truth, it is a dance woven into the universe's fabric. You're not moving toward an end alone. You're moving with stars, with planets, with galaxies. All are aging, all are changing, all are burning like candles in the night. You're part of this great symphony, a single instrument in the orchestra of time. There is beauty in this perspective. Your wrinkles, your grey hairs, your tired bones, they are not marks of loss but of participation. They are the music of your life expressed in form. They are proof that you have danced through time, that your body has carried you faithfully. Aging is not only decay but also memory, not only loss but also accumulation. And perhaps, when you think of gravity's role, you may find comfort. You are held gently by Earth, slowed slightly by its pull, carried in its embrace. You're not rushing too quickly into age, you're softened by the planet's presence. Your seconds are stretched, your life lengthened, even if only imperceptibly. The universe, in its way, gives you more time. As you drift with this thought, you realize how delicate the balance is. Too much gravity near a black hole, and aging nearly halts. Too little in the emptiness of deep space, and time flows more quickly. Everywhere the dance is different. Everywhere the rhythm is unique. Yet everywhere life unfolds, shaped by the same gentle laws. You breathe slowly, feeling your own body as both clock and dancer. Each cell ticks, each breath marks time, each heartbeat is a step. You're both measuring and living time, both witness and participant. The dance of aging is yours alone, yet it is also universal. And so you rest, not fearing the passage of years, but embracing their music. You are a candle, yes, but you are also the light it gives. You're a dancer, yes, but you're also the music itself. And as you settle into this awareness, another thought stirs. If your own clock can slow in gravity's arms, what happens is when you approach places where time nearly stops altogether, at the very horizons of black holes, where seconds stretch into eternity. Close your eyes and imagine drifting through space. The stars are scattered like lanterns across the dark, the Earth a distant marble behind you. Ahead you see something stranger, darker than night itself, a black hole. It is not merely an object, but an absence, a region where gravity bends space-time so deeply that nothing, not even light, can escape. To draw near is to approach a horizon, not of geography, but of time. Black holes are born from the collapse of massive stars. When fuel is gone, when pressure can no longer resist gravity's pull, the star folds inward upon itself, compressing until its mass occupies a space unimaginably small. What remains is a well in space-time, so steep that all paths lead downward. To approach is to move toward a boundary, the event horizon. The event horizon is not a surface you could touch. It is a boundary in time itself. Cross it, and escape is impossible. Not even a photon can return once it passes that invisible edge. For you, standing far away, the horizon is the line beyond which no news can reach, the edge of the knowable universe. But for someone falling in, the experience is far stranger. Their time and your time will never agree. Imagine an astronaut drifting toward a black hole. From their perspective, their watch ticks as always. Their breaths follow their normal rhythm. Their thoughts unfold steadily. They feel no change as they cross the event horizon. But to you, watching from afar, something astonishing happens. As they approach the horizon, their motion slows. Their signals, light, radio, any message, stretch, redshift and fade. They appear to freeze at the edge, lingering in suspended animation, never quite crossing. Time, near the horizon, slows almost to stillness. For you, the observer, the astronaut's seconds stretch into infinity. You will never see them fall through. Their image remains, ghost-like, frozen at the threshold. Yet for them, time flows normally, and they pass the horizon without pause. This is relativity at its most profound. Time itself has horizons. Pause and let this thought settle. A clock falling into a black hole slows and stops in your eyes, yet ticks steadily in its own. Both truths coexist, neither false. Perspective writes reality. Time is not uniform but sculpted by the gravity's deepest wells. Consider also light itself. A photon escaping from near the horizon struggles against gravity's pull. Its energy stretches thinner, its wavelength lengthens, its colour reddens until it vanishes into darkness. This redshift is time's slowing made visible. It is as though the universe itself whispers, "Here, seconds are longer. Here, eternity begins." This paradox does not only stir the imagination, it also carries practical meaning. Black holes are laboratories for relativity. Observations of stars orbiting the giant black hole at the centre of our galaxy confirm Einstein's predictions. Their light shifts as they skim close to the horizon, their clocks slowed by gravity's immense grip. Even across such extremes, the laws hold true. You may feel awe, but also a strange comfort. To know that time can stretch so completely as to glimpse the flexibility of the cosmos. There is no rigid edge to reality, no single tempo for all. There are places where seconds race, places where they crawl, and places where they nearly stop. You are part of this variety, your life one rhythm among many. Imagine yourself standing safely at a distance watching the black hole's dark sphere. Around it light bends, stars distort, images swirl into strange arcs. The horizon glows with the remains of matter falling inward, spiralling like fireflies into the abyss. It is both terrifying and beautiful, a place where physics becomes poetry. And yet for all its strangeness, the horizon is not the end of time but a transformation. For the falling astronaut, life continues. They cross without noticing, their moments unfolding as before. Inside, time continues to flow, though in ways we cannot fully describe. For you outside, their story is forever unfinished, their last moment drawn out infinitely. This is the mystery of horizons. They divide realities without contradiction. Reflect on the symbolism of this. In your own life, there are horizons you cannot see beyond, moments of change, thresholds of experience. To cross them is to continue, but to those who watch you may seem transformed, unreachable, altered. Black holes are cosmic metaphors, reminding you that boundaries are not ends but shifts in perspective. There is also humility here. Black holes remind us that the universe contains places we cannot follow, places where our laws break down, where our understanding stops. Time, so familiar in your daily life, becomes alien at these edges. Seconds lose their meaning, clocks disagree forever. And yet the universe embraces this strangeness. It allows for places where time nearly halts, where eternity brushes against the present. Pause again and breathe. Imagine your own seconds stretching, softening, slowing. Feel how relativity makes time flexible, how horizons exist not only in the sky but in your thoughts. Each horizon is an invitation to wonder, a reminder that mystery is not absence but presence, a presence deeper than you can yet reach. And as you drift in this reflection, you may see how the horizon of time is also the horizon of knowledge. Beyond it lies the unknown, waiting, silent. Scientists peer at these edges, building theories, listening to the faint signals of waves rippling through space-time. Each discovery is a step closer, though the horizon itself always remains beyond. You rest now with this vision, a universe where time does not simply pass but bends, slows, and nearly stops. Black holes are not just voids, they are mirrors, showing you the limits of time, the malleability of seconds, the relativity of every moment. They are the lullabies of eternity whispering through their silence. And then a new thought emerges. If the bending of time can be heard at horizons, perhaps it can also be felt as music, subtle differences in rhythm, gentle variations in tempo, weaving a cosmic symphony that sings of relativity. Close your eyes and imagine an orchestra preparing to play. The hall is quiet, the audience hushed. Each instrument tunes itself, strings vibrating, flutes whispering, drums softly tested. Then the conductor lifts a hand and the music begins. At first, the melody is unified, each instrument aligned. But slowly, something changes. One violin lingers on a note, a flute stretches its rhythm, a cello slows its bow. The harmony is still there, but the beats no longer match perfectly. The music becomes richer, layered with different tempos. This is how you can hear relativity. Time itself is the music, and every clock in the universe is an instrument. Some play faster, some slower, depending on where they are and how they move. Yet together, they form a symphony, not chaos. Relativity is not a breaking of order, but a deepening of it, a reminder that harmony allows for variation. Think again of satellites above Earth. Their atomic clocks tick differently than those on the ground. It is as though one violin plays slightly ahead while another lags a fraction behind. Engineers, like conductors, adjust the instrument so that your navigation remains precise. The music is not perfectly aligned, but it is orchestrated. You move through your life guided by a harmony that reaches from the sky to your pocket. Imagine yourself listening not with ears but with thought. The rhythm of your heart is one instrument, steady and soft. The ticking of a clock in your room is another, sharp and mechanical. The orbital motion of the moon adds a deeper note, while the sun's fiery fusion plays a grand chord. Each star, each planet, each particle adds its sound. Together, they create the music of relativity, a composition spanning from your body to the galaxies. This music is not loud, it is subtle, like a lullaby. You cannot hear it directly, yet you live within it. Every step you take, every breath you draw is part of its rhythm. Relativity ensures that no instrument dominates, that no tempo silences another. All are allowed, all are true, all weave into the larger piece. Pause and picture yourself as a listener in this cosmic hall. Around you, instruments play unseen, clocks on airplanes, pulses of stars, oscillations of atoms. Their beats differ, yet they belong to one song. You are not outside this performance. You are within it, your own rhythms contributing to the whole. The universe is not a silent void, but a symphony of time. Consider pulsars, those collapsed stars spinning with extraordinary regularity. They send beams of radiation sweeping across space like cosmic metronomes. Astronomers listen to them as though listening to drums in the symphony, steady beats marking the tempo of galaxies. Even they are bent by relativity. Their signals arrive stretched or compressed depending on gravity and motion. Another layer in the cosmic music. Think too of gravitational waves, ripples in space-time itself. When massive objects like black holes collide, they send vibrations across the universe. Detectors on Earth listen for these waves, like microphones catching the bass notes of the orchestra. When discovered, the sound was not sharp but a faint chirp, a whisper of the universe's deepest instruments. Even silence carries music when relativity conducts. You may wonder what this music means for you. Perhaps it is a reminder that your life need not be perfectly aligned with others to be part of harmony. Just as clocks tick differently yet still form order, people live at different tempos yet remain connected. Some rush, some linger, some carry heavy rhythms, some light. Together they compose the song of humanity. Relativity is both physics and metaphor, teaching that diversity is not noise but music. As you breathe slowly, you can feel your own rhythm soften. Your heartbeat steady pairs with your breath, rising and falling like a drum and a flute. Your thoughts drift more slowly, like violins drawing long notes. You're a small orchestra of your own, and yet you're also playing with the stars, with the galaxies, with the fabric of space-time itself. Reflect on the gentleness of this. Science often feels like equations, precise and cold, but here it becomes melody, warm and soft. Relativity is not only a calculation but a lullaby sung by the cosmos. Every variation of time, every disagreement of clocks, is part of a song that never ends. And so you rest, imagining yourself surrounded by instruments invisible yet real. The music does not rush. It unfolds patiently, as all good lullabies do. The universe plays on, and you are both listener and note within its endless score. And then a question rises with the last echoes. If relativity is music, where has this song been heard most clearly? What experiments have captured its notes high above the earth, where humans ride the sky to test time itself? Close your eyes and picture an airplane climbing into the sky. The engines hum, the ground drifts farther away, clouds open like doors into the heavens. Now imagine that hidden aboard this plane is not only luggage and passengers, but the most delicate of instruments, atomic clocks. They tick silently, measuring seconds with impossible precision. When they return to Earth, they disagree with the clocks left behind. And in that disagreement, relativity is proven. This was not a dream but a real experiment, carried out in the 1970s. Scientists placed synchronized atomic clocks on commercial flights circling the globe. When the planes returned, the clocks no longer matched those on the ground. The differences were tiny, fractions of a microsecond, but they aligned perfectly with Einstein's predictions. Time had flowed differently in the sky. Gravity, weaker at altitude, let seconds pass more quickly, while motion, faster than on the ground, slowed them down again. Both effects were real, both measurable, both balanced in delicate harmony. Pause and consider how profound this is. For thousands of years, time was thought absolute, the same for all people in all places. Yet here, with planes and clocks, humanity discovered otherwise. Time is not a universal beat but a flexible rhythm, bending with speed and height. What once lived in thought experiments became fact, proven in the sky above. Reflect too on satellites, those quiet companions circling Earth. Each one carries atomic clocks, their signals vital for navigation, and each must account for relativity every moment. High above, weaker gravity lets their clocks run faster than those on Earth. Yet their speed in orbit slows them. The net result, without correction, their signals would drift by miles each day. GPS would fail, maps would blur, and your phone's glowing dot would wander aimlessly. Technology works only because relativity is written into its design. Imagine standing in a city street, glancing at your phone, and finding your exact position within a few feet. Hidden in that convenience are satellites thousands of miles above, their clocks corrected constantly. They whisper down signals tuned by relativity, aligning Earth and sky into one coherent map. You may think of it as ordinary, but it is extraordinary. Every step you take is guided by physics proven in the heavens. The beauty of these experiments lies not only in their precision, but in their simplicity. Flying a plane, launching a satellite, These are familiar acts of human endeavour, yet within them lies proof of something cosmic. Time is not fixed. It stretches and shrinks, always faithful to relativity. You're reminded that great truths need not always be distant or abstract. They can be proven in the everyday act of flight. Think again of the airplanes carrying clocks. Passengers looked out windows, sipped coffee, read books, unaware that their journey was also an experiment in physics. Above the clouds, their seconds stretched differently than those of their families waiting below. No one felt it, no one noticed, but the clocks did. When compared, they revealed the subtle bending of time. Relativity does not need grand gestures. It reveals itself quietly, in differences too small for the human body to sense, but large enough for science to measure. There is humility here. The universe does not shape itself for human perception. It bends according to its own laws, whether or not you notice. Your senses tell you time is steady, but the clocks whisper otherwise. To listen is to learn that reality is richer, subtler than intuition alone can capture. Imagine yourself floating in a balloon, drifting upward. At every 100 feet, time shifts slightly, running a fraction faster. No part of you feels it, yet the change is there. Your watch, if compared to one below, would slowly drift. The higher you go, the freer your seconds become. The Earth's pull lessens and time stretches gently. Airplanes and satellites are simply balloons carried farther, higher, faster, revealing what is true everywhere. Pause now and breathe. Feel the sky above you, vast and patient. Within it, time bends differently than it does here on the ground. Birds fly through altered seconds, clouds drift across softened hours, planes carve paths in rhythms your body cannot sense. The sky is not only air, it is a realm where relativity plays out each day. Think of astronauts circling Earth. Their bodies, their watches, their memories, all carry the marks of altered time. They return a fractionally younger than those who remained. The difference is small, but it is real. Experiments in the sky are not only about machines, they're about people too. You and they live in different rhythms, yet share the same world. And so you see the sky not as empty, but as a laboratory, a place where relativity writes its proofs. Airplanes, satellites, astronauts, all are participants in this grand experiment. Their journeys confirm what theory whispered. Time is not absolute. The sky is alive with clocks, each ticking differently, yet together confirming the universe's law. Reflect on the poetry of this. You do not need to travel to black holes to know time bends. You need only look upward, where planes cross the clouds and satellites trace silent arcs. Above you, relativity is always at work, always shaping, always softening. You live in its truth whether you notice or not. And as you settle into this reflection, a gentle thought rises. If experiments in the sky prove relativity here near Earth, what might experiments in deep space reveal? What truths wait where gravity is stronger, where distances are greater, where the fabric of space-time is stretched more fiercely than we can imagine? Close your eyes and imagine stepping beyond the sky. The blue fades, the air thins, and the world falls away beneath you. Soon Earth is a sphere suspended in darkness, clouds curling over oceans, continents glowing with tiny lights. You are no longer a creature of the ground, you are a traveller of deep space, carried into regions where time itself unfolds differently. Here, in the vast distances between planets and stars, relativity is not only theory but experience. Every movement, every shift in gravity, every fraction of speed shapes the way your seconds pass. The farther you go, the more you notice. Time is not uniform. It is sculpted by the journey itself. Imagine a spacecraft, sleek and silent, leaving Earth behind. As its engines burn, the ship accelerates, inching closer to the speed of light. Inside, life feels normal. Meals are eaten, laughter shared. Sleep finds you in the hum of machinery. But outside, back on Earth, decades pass more quickly. The faster the ship goes, the more stretched the traveller's time becomes. They are preserved in a bubble of slower seconds, while history races beyond them. This is not fantasy. It is the direct consequence of relativity. The deeper into space you go, the faster you travel. The weaker gravity's pull becomes, the more time separates. Astronauts today experience this only faintly, gaining or losing tiny fragments of seconds. But in the dreams of deep space journeys, these differences grow vast. A traveller might leave for a star and return to find centuries gone, their loved ones long past, their world transformed. Pause and let that vision settle. It is both wondrous and bittersweet. Relativity gives with one hand and takes with the other. It preserves your youth as you travel, but it steals your shared present with those who remain. Time is generous to the traveller, but merciless to those they leave behind. Yet even so, there is beauty in the thought. To journey into deep space is to step into the pure rhythm of the cosmos. Your clock no longer tied tightly to Earth's gravity, your seconds flow differently, closer to the freedom of light itself. You are carried by her space-time's currents, your body writing a different story of age and memory. Imagine reaching the orbit of another star. Its light, perhaps older than humanity, washes over your ship. You have travelled years, maybe decades, yet to Earth, centuries have passed. You are both part of history and apart from it. A living paradox, you carry the present of two different tempos. This idea has haunted science fiction, but beneath the stories lies truth. The physics is clear. The experiments on Earth and in orbit already confirm it. Relativity is not a theory waiting for proof. It is a reality waiting for scale. Deep space is the stage where its song would be heard most loudly. Reflect on the silence of that journey. Between stars there is no atmosphere, no sound, only light and emptiness stretching endlessly. In such silence, time feels more fluid. Days aboard blur into one another, yet each is longer than the days left behind. Your journey becomes not only a voyage across distance, but across time itself. Think of the Voyager probes, launched decades ago, now drifting into interstellar space. They carry golden records, messages from Earth, spinning slowly through silence. They are not crewed by humans, but even so they embody the idea of a deep space traveller. They drift where time feels different, where seconds tick in isolation. To them, the rhythms of Earth are faint echoes carried only in memory. Pause again and breathe. Imagine yourself as such a traveller, wrapped in a cocoon of slower seconds. Your hair remains dark, your face youthful, while entire generations rise and fall behind you. You're preserved, not because of magic, but because of physics. Relativity stretches your moments, grants you longevity, yet asks a price: distance, solitude, separation. This paradox softens your sense of time itself. You see that time is not something rigid, not a straight line carved into stone. It is pliable, bending with journey and place. To live is to ride these bends, whether faint in daily life or dramatic in the dream of deep space. Your seconds are not fixed. They are part of the ocean of space-time carried by unseen tides. There is comfort in this thought. Even as you stay here, your life tethered to Earth, you are still part of this truth. You're already a traveller, circling the sun, spinning with the galaxy, moving through the universe. You're already carried by space-time, already experiencing relativity, even if faintly. You belong to the same laws as astronauts, satellites, and stars. And so, the dream of deep space is not only for science or technology, it is for you in your quiet reflection. You can imagine it, and by imagining, you are part of it. Relativity is not distant, it is intimate, shaping your life even as you sleep. Rest with that vision now. See yourself drifting between stars, your seconds stretched, your body preserved, your story both ahead of and behind those you love. Feel the beauty and the ache of it. Relativity is both lullaby and paradox, gift and separation. The universe allows such journeys, and in imagining you have already taken one. And as the dream closes, another question rises like a distant star. If deep space carries you into altered time, what stories do the stars themselves tell about time? Those burning clocks of the cosmos, measuring ages far beyond our own. Close your eyes and look upward in imagination. The night sky opens, velvet and vast, dotted with stars. Each point of light you see is more than a decoration. It is a clock. A star is a timekeeper, measuring millions or billions of years, its life a rhythm written in fire. Stars are born in great clouds of dust and gas. Gravity gathers the cloud, pressing atoms closer, until heat ignites and fusion begins. Hydrogen becomes helium, Light is born and a star emerges, glowing against the dark. This birth is the first tick of the star's clock. From that moment onward, its life is a measure of cosmic time. Imagine the sun, steady and patient. It has been burning for about 4.6 billion years and will continue for billions more. Every dawn you see, every ray that touches your skin is a tick of its ancient clock. Your days, your years, your lifetimes are folded into its rhythm. The sun's light tells you not only where you are in a day, but also where humanity stands in cosmic history. Different stars keep time differently. Small stars burn their fuel slowly, living for trillions of years. They are patient clocks, almost eternal. Their tick so slow you cannot hear them. Massive stars, by contrast, burn fiercely, their fuel spent in only millions of years. They are fast clocks, brilliant but brief, measuring time in bursts of intensity. Their deaths are sudden, collapsing into black holes or exploding as supernovae. Each type of star plays a different tempo in the universe's music. When you look at a star's colour, you are reading its clock. Blue stars are young and hot, burning quickly. Yellow stars, like the sun, are middle-aged, steady in their pace. Red stars are older, cooling as their fuel runs low. Astronomers can tell a star's age and the stage of life by its hue, just as you can guess a candle's age by the height of its flame. The sky is full of clocks in many stages, glowing with different colours of time. Pause and let this thought soothe you. The stars are not random lights but living measures of history. Their glow is a record of time unfolding across billions of years. Each one tells a story of birth in clouds, or of steady burning, of inevitable transformation. When you gaze at the night sky, you're surrounded by timekeepers older and vaster than anything on Earth. Think also of starlight itself. When photons leave a star, they carry with them the memory of the moment of their birth. Travelling for years, centuries, or millennia, they arrive at your eyes unchanged. When you look at a distant star, you are seeing not the present, but the past. Its earlier tick of time, the farther the star, the older the memory. Some starlight began its journey before humans existed, before Earth was as it is now. You are reading the past written in light. This is the poetry of astronomy. The sky is a history book, its pages scattered across distance, its sentences written in photons. Each star's clock is preserved, allowing you to glimpse the age of the universe. You're not limited to your own lifetime. Through the stars, you touch billions of years. Reflect on how this mirrors your own life. Just as memories mark your time, stars mark the universe's. Your memories stretch across decades, theirs across eons. Both are fragile, yet both hold truth. You're a small clock within a greater one, your rhythm a note in the cosmic symphony. There is humility here. Your lifetime may be short compared to stars, but you share the same fabric of time. Your heart beats, your cells age, your moments pass, all while the sun burns steadily above. You and the stars are not separate. You are both timekeepers, each in your own scale. Imagine a skein lying beneath the night sky. The stars above are not silent, they are speaking of time. One tells of youth, burning blue and hot. Another whispers of middle age glowing gold, another fades red, nearing its end. Together, they sing the story of the universe, each a clock chiming in its own rhythm. As you breathe in this vision, you realize something profound. To watch the stars is to watch time itself unfold. You're not outside the story, but within it. The same forces that burn in stars burn in you. The carbon in your body was forged in their deaths, released in explosions billions of years ago. You carry their clocks within your cells, their rhythms within your breath. And so you rest with this awareness. Stars are not distant, but intimate. They are your ancestors, your companions, your cosmic timekeepers. To look at them is to look at yourself, stretched across ages, glowing with memory. And then gently another thought rises. If stars mark the passing of cosmic ages, what of galaxies, the grand spirals and clusters? Do they too keep time in their own vast rhythms? Close your eyes and lift your imagination farther still. Beyond the glow of stars, beyond the clusters of suns that shape constellations, there are greater structures, galaxies. They are the grand gatherings of billions of stars, dust and dark matter, swirling in slow, patient spirals or crowded into glowing ellipses. A galaxy is not just a collection of stars. It is a clock of unimaginable scale, marking time through its rhythms of motion. Picture the Milky Way, your home galaxy. It is a spiral with arms curling gracefully outward, like a whirlpool frozen in space. Every star within it, including your Sun, circles the galactic center. This orbit is long and slow. The Sun takes about 225 million years to complete one lap around the center. One galactic year is longer than the history of humanity itself. As your heart beats and your days pass, your entire planet is drifting through this immense cycle. You are part of a rhythm far larger than your lifetime. Pause and imagine what that means. Every dinosaur that walked the Earth lived under a different part of the galaxy's journey. Every civilization that rose and fell did so, while the Sun traced only tiny arcs of its orbit. The galaxy measures time not in centuries, but in hundreds of millions of years. It is a clock so vast that your entire life is but a breath within its tick. Galaxies themselves also evolve. They are born from clouds of matter, slowly gathering into shapes. Some remain small and irregular, while others grow into grand spirals or massive elliptical forms. Over billions of years, galaxies merge, colliding in slow dances. Their stars rarely crash directly, for space is wide, but their structures fold together, reshaping. Each collision is a beat in cosmic time, an event spanning eons. Reflect on how long this rhythm is. A galaxy may live for tens of billions of years, its cycles far outlasting stars. It is as though galaxies keep the calendar of the universe, marking epochs rather than moments. Their motions are the longest hands of the cosmic clock. Consider Andromeda, the nearest spiral galaxy to the Milky Way. Even now it drifts toward you, drawn by gravity. In about 4 billion years, the two galaxies will merge, swirling together into a new form. To human eyes, this seems impossibly far, beyond imagination. Yet to galaxies, it is part of their natural rhythm. They approach, they embrace, they become one. This too is the music of time, a movement written across the canvas of space. Pause and picture this future. The night sky will fill with Andromeda's glow, larger and brighter each passing million years. Eventually, its stars will mingle with ours, and the galaxies will fuse into a single vast structure. The Milky Way will end, not in destruction, but in transformation. The rhythm of galaxies is not abrupt but fluid, patient, spanning billions of years. Think also of the stars within galaxies. They orbit not only the galactic center, but also weave in smaller motions, pulled by neighbors, nudged by clusters. Each movement adds complexity to the galactic rhythm, like notes layered into a chord. Yet through it all, the galaxy holds together, a balance of gravity and motion, a dance of billions of suns. There is humility in realizing this scale. You measure time in minutes, hours, days. Galaxies measure in hundreds of millions of years, yet you are not excluded from this rhythm. You live within it. The Sun carries you along its orbit, Earth spinning as a small companion. Your body, your seconds, are part of a galactic journey you did not choose, but to which you belong completely. Reflect on the beauty of this belonging. Though you may feel small, you are carried by motions vast and elegant. You are not lost in the galaxy, you are cradled by it. The rhythm of galaxies is not only distant but intimate, for it shapes the very environment in which you live. Pause once more and breathe. Imagine floating beyond the Milky Way, looking back at its spiral arms turning slowly, its stars glowing faintly. You see it as a clock face, each orbit a hand, each rotation a measure of age. The galaxy does not hurry. It does not rush. It unfolds with patience, with grace. Its time is not your time, yet both exist, layered together, part of the same universe. And as you drift, you see countless others. Galaxies stretched across the dark like islands in a vast sea. Spirals, ellipticals, irregular clouds, all turning, colliding, evolving. Each one a clock, each one a keeper of cosmic time. Together, they form a symphony of rhythms, a music so slow and grand that only imagination can hear it. You rest with this vision, calmed by its vastness. Galaxies remind you that time has many scales, many rhythms. Your seconds and hours are true. Their millions and billions of years are also true. There is no contradiction, only harmony. The universe is a vast orchestra, each part keeping time in its own way. And as you drift deeper into this awareness, another question rises softly. If galaxies are clocks of billions of years, what of the universe itself, the grandest clock of all, whose rhythm is written in its expansion and in the fading glow of its first light? Close your eyes and drift backward, far beyond your own lifetime, far beyond Earth's history, past the age of stars and galaxies. Imagine the universe when it was young, only a few 100,000 years old. It was not yet dark, nor filled with suns. Instead, it glowed. A soft, hazy light spread evenly in every direction. This was the first light, the moment when the cosmos became transparent, when photons were free to travel for the first time. That light has not vanished. It still surrounds you, stretched and softened by the expansion of the universe. Today, you cannot see it with your eyes, but sensitive instruments reveal it. It comes as a faint glow in the microwave spectrum, a quiet background that fills all of space. Scientists call it the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. It is the universe's oldest memory, a photograph of its childhood. Imagine standing in a dark room and hearing a faint hum that never ceases. No matter where you turn, the hum is there, a constant reminder of something long past. The CMB is like that hum, an echo of the early universe, still reaching you billions of years later. It is not a single note, but a map, filled with tiny ripples, small variations that tell of the first structures to form, galaxies, stars, and eventually planets. Pause and let that thought soften you. Every glance at the night sky carries this invisible glow. You are bathed in ancient light, older than any star you can see. It is not bright, not intrusive, but gentle, background whisper woven into existence itself. Consider how it was discovered. In 1965, two scientists working with a radio antenna in New Jersey noticed a strange noise in their data. They cleaned their equipment, chased away pigeons nesting in the horn, checked every possible source of interference. But the noise remained. What they were hearing, though they did not know at first, was the afterglow of the Big Bang, the CMB itself. By accident, they had tuned into the oldest echo of light. Reflect on the poetry of that. The universe's first words were not lost. They lingered, waiting patiently for humanity to notice. Even pigeons could not silence them. The background hum was there all along, carrying the story of the cosmos's beginning. Today, satellites like COBE, DMAP, and Planck have mapped this background with incredible precision. They reveal not just a smooth glow, but a tapestry of tiny fluctuations, variations in temperature only millionths of a degree. These ripples are seeds of structure, the faint beginnings of galaxies, clusters, and everything that would later fill the universe. The CMB is not just light, it is a blueprint of history. Pause and imagine yourself listening to it directly. You would not hear words or melody, but a soft static, a cosmic hush. Yet within that hush lies every story. The birth of stars, the rise of galaxies, the eventual appearance of life. It is a lullaby from the universe's infancy, still playing, still present. Think of it as the universe's first clock. Before the CMB, the cosmos was too dense, too hot for light to escape. Time was hidden, veiled in fire. When the first light broke free, the universe began a new rhythm, one you can still measure today. The expansion of space stretched the glow, cooling it, carrying it across billions of years. The CMB tells you how old the universe is, how fast it expands, how it will evolve. It is the ticking of cosmic history, faint but faithful. There is comfort here. The light that fills your world each day comes and goes, shifting with the sun rising and setting. But this ancient light is always present, steady, unchanged except for its gentle stretching. It is a reminder that you live not only in the present, but in the echo of the past. Every breath you take is filled with photons that have travelled since the dawn of time. You are, in a real sense, part of the universe's memory. Imagine lying beneath the night sky, your body quiet, your thoughts slow. Above you, stars twinkle, but beneath them, unseen, the CMB surrounds you. It is not far, not faint in truth, but everywhere, filling every corner. You are embraced by it, wrapped in the same glow that once bathed the universe's infancy. The light does not judge or demand. It only whispers, "I am still here." And what a whisper it is. It tells you that the universe has an age, that it began, that it carries its history forward. It tells you that time is not endless repetition, but unfolding, evolving, stretching. The CMB is proof that the cosmos remembers itself, that its earliest light is not gone, but softened into a lullaby. Reflect again on the pigeons, the antenna, the accident of discovery. Humanity stumbled onto this truth, guided not by intent, but by curiosity and persistence. The CMB was always there, but it waited until we had ears sensitive enough to listen. How many other whispers still wait, hidden in the universe, patient for discovery? Pause, breathe, and feel gratitude for this. You live in a world where the universe speaks, not loudly but quietly. Its oldest voice is not thunder but a hush. Its longest story is told not in words but in faint ripples of microwave light. To be alive is to listen to this song, to know you are part of its unfolding. And so you rest, comforted by the thought that even the oldest echoes endure. The first light still shines, the first rhythm still plays, the first memory still glows. The universe carries its childhood within it, and you are wrapped in its glow. As you linger with this thought, another question rises softly. If the first light still hums across the cosmos, how will the final chapters of time sound? What happens to clocks, stars, and galaxies when the universe drifts toward its far future? Close your eyes and allow yourself to drift forward, not by years or centuries, but by billions upon billions of years. The night sky you know begins to change. Stars that once filled it begin to fade. Galaxies that once crowded together drift farther apart. The universe is still expanding, still stretching, carrying everything with it into the far future. You're about to enter an age where time itself feels different, slower, more spread out, like the last notes of a song. First, imagine the stars. They are the clocks of the cosmos, but their fuel is not infinite. Slowly, one by one, they burn through their hydrogen, cooling and dimming. Brilliant blue stars vanish first, their lives short and fiery. Yellow stars like the sun endure longer, but even they must fade. What remains are red dwarfs, glowing faintly for trillions of years, tiny embers in the cosmic dark. Eventually, even these last small fires will flicker out. The age of stars will end. Pause and let this image settle. A universe without starlight. No more twinkling skies, no more suns rising. Darkness stretches everywhere. The galaxies that once shone with brilliance are now filled with black dwarfs, cold remnants of stars silent as stones. Time continues, but its rhythm feels slower, heavier. The cosmic clock still ticks, but its hands move almost imperceptibly. Now imagine the galaxies themselves. The expansion of the universe drives them apart. Distances grow so vast that one day no galaxy will be visible from another. To observers in that distant age, the universe will appear empty, though in truth it is still full. Light will no longer cross those immense distances, and isolation will become the new rhythm. Where once the sky was filled with billions of galaxies, the horizon will show only darkness, and still time flows. Black holes remain, swallowing matter, bending space-time with their immense gravity. Yet even they are not eternal. Over inconceivable spans, they evaporate slowly, releasing faint whispers of energy called Hawking radiation. One by one they fade into nothingness, their power dissolved into the quiet sea of the cosmos. When the last black hole vanishes, the universe will be left without its deepest wells. Pause again and breathe. You are drifting now into an era called the heat death, when energy is spread so evenly across space that nothing new can form. No stars ignite, no galaxies cluster, no black holes remain. The universe becomes still, not because its time has stopped, but because change has ended. The clock keeps ticking, but there are no hands left to mark the hours. It is as though the symphony of existence has played its final note, leaving only silence. This vision may feel sorrowful, but there is gentleness here too. The universe is not destroyed violently, it drifts into rest. Like a candle that burns until the wax is gone, it fades with dignity. Each stage, birth, bloom, fading silence, is part of its natural rhythm. The far future is not an end to be feared, but a completion, the closing of the great cosmic lullaby. Think of your own life in this light. You too are a rhythm within the universe. You burn with energy, you grow, you fade, and one day you rest. Just as the cosmos accepts its own cycles, you can accept yours. To live is to be part of this vast story, to share in its beauty and impermanence. The far future of time mirrors the far future of every life, an arc from beginning to ending, full of meaning in every moment. Now imagine yourself as a traveller carried into this distant age. You float in a universe with no stars, no galaxies in sight, only the thin glow of scattered particles spread across unimaginable distances. At first it feels empty, but as you rest within it, you realise the silence itself is a kind of music. It is the echo of all that came before, a reminder of the ages when stars burned, when galaxies danced, when life emerged. The silence holds memory. Even here, relativity endures. Time does not vanish. It continues stretching endlessly. Seconds still pass, though there are no more clocks to count them. The fabric of space-time remains, vast and quiet, carrying the history of everything within it. The final age of the universe is not absence, but presence. Presence so soft, so spread out that it feels like stillness. Pause and let yourself breathe into that stillness. Imagine being surrounded by nothing and yet everything, by the final harmony of the cosmos. It is not frightening, it is restful. The universe has done its work, told its story, given its light. Now it sleeps. Reflect on how this vision changes your understanding of time. You live in a brief moment compared to these cosmic ages, yet your moment is no less important. Just as each star had its place in the great unfolding, so do you. Your seconds, however fleeting, are threads in the same fabric. The far future does not diminish you, it includes you. And so, as you drift into sleep, you feel yourself part of the cosmic rhythm. The clocks of your body slow, your breath evens, your thoughts soften. The universe too breathes, its great cycles unfolding. From the first light to the last silence, from stars to galaxies to the fading echo of eternity, all is part of one great song. And you are within it, always, always.